Hmm. That should be live. Just gonna make sure that the audio's working. Hello, me. Yep, that looks all good to me. Okay. If anyone's here in the comments, let me know. They should come up on the side here for me so I can interact. Uh, yeah, I think that's all in the right place. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead as if there is people here, at least at some point. So basically, this is GUKPT London final table. Although here I've only got to 10 players left here. I need to skip ahead a little bit. I haven't really reviewed these hands or thought much about these hands since they happened. I do remember thinking I played well at the time, at least for myself. I remember being very like zoned in. Um, a shame that I can't review, day one, day two hands, stuff like that. It's all going to be FT ICM stuff, but I remember it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of really good players, a lot of tough spots. Looks like what the stacks are looking like with 10 players left, so I'm just going to try skip ahead to when the actual final table starts. I can give you some intel on what I was thinking about some of these players at least before as well. So I can get the stacks for the start of the final table so find the payouts. Oh, that's kind of cool. They're going through the Henna mobs of the players at the table as well. So Paul Vaz Nunez, he looks like he's the guy in seat two. He's a very good player. He's been around for a long time. Not someone I want to, get chips on my left. So that's what I'm slightly conscious of. If there's a good player on my left, then keeping them in the ICM coffin, not trying to give them the chip lead. Joe, I didn't know much about at the time, to be honest, but I think he was playing good. Who's this? Jacob. Again, I wouldn't be able to say with confidence, like reads on this guy. Maybe as hands come up, something might come back to me because this was back in January. Medi, I played with him in the high roller. He plays Tritons. He's very good and gonna not care as much about the ICM maybe, or like care more about winning than some of the other players as opposed to the ladders. But I think he's just gonna play good. He's gonna be aggressive. He's gonna be finding bluffs. Vikram, yeah, he's a good live player. I know he plays a lot of mixed games too, but he's creative. Uh, I think with the stack set up, he mostly had to play tight, if I remember. But Peter, he's like kind of a newcomer. He's a bit wild. I'll just say that. I played some wild hands against this guy. So he's someone who, I don't think he's going to be respecting ICM as much either. He's definitely going to play him for the win. He's not scared to bluff. He's not scared to bust first or anything. Uh, as opposed to, some people with his stack might be playing much tighter. George I only played with for the first time in this tournament, but I think he played very well. I think he's a cash game guy, but his skills translated very well. And looks like we've got one more guy who's going to be the guy in C9. Um, if they're going to show us this last guy, maybe not. Vitali, yeah, I think I played with this guy for the first time during this tournament, and he seemed a little bit stubborn. Maybe I played one hand against him. Well, he seemed to get a bit tilted when he lost hands as well. Uh, Maybe I've got some hindsight bias here as well because I remember what happened at this final table. But yeah, he seemed someone that he didn't want to be pushed around. Let's just say that he didn't want to feel like you were getting the better of him. But as for actually how he played, like I wouldn't say I had strong grades on this necessarily. So let's see if it's going to give me the stacks. I love it when it does this, when it's got the stacks along the top. So as you can see, Georgios is the chip leader here with 2 million. It looks like I'm in second. Yeah, I'm in second with 1.5. Then we got Vitali, and it looks like we're all in a row here as well. So first in chips here, then I got me second in chips, this guy third in chips. So it's nice I've got position on these two players. And then Medi over here, he's like not too far away. Uh, And then there is a massive, massive drop off. So this is like pretty unusual stack distribution as well, where you've got like relatively big chip lead, and then second, bit of a drop off, but then me, Vitali, and Medi are like not too far away from each other, big blind 20k. But then you go from fourth place here, Medi, with like, what is it, 50, 57, 50, 58 big blinds, down to the next player has 400k. Yeah, that's a massive drop off. So you've got Paul, Joe, Vic, Jacob who's like clear shortest here with 6.5 bigs, who are all kind of in the bin. They just need to play really, really tight at this point. Because it's hard for them to make a run at being chip lead. So at a final table like this, like I can kind of tussle a bit more and try and break away chip lead. Like if I win a medium pot against Georgios, I can potentially run away with it. Like that option's still there for me. And if I lose a medium pot, I'm sort of still chilling. I don't want to, be at risk, but I can kind of like get involved a bit more. Like it's not that often you're going to play hands such that I'm going to lose my position. Whereas like, Paul, Joe, Vic, if one hand goes wrong, they're out, and that's like a huge detriment to the situation. So they need to play pretty tight. Jacob is like, it's possible like Vic's only got 12 and a half bigs. It's possible that Jacob can get a ladder if someone just gets cooled. But having 6.5, I'd mostly be playing chip EV. I'd just be kind of trying to find a spot, try and get to like at least this sort of next like stage of players where you can just more likely to get some ladders at least. But from this point, I'd say Jacob can almost play chip EV. If he doubles up, then he's like really in the bin with the other guys trying to outlast them. But yeah, other than that, it looks like Georgios has got pretty commanding position. Peter folding ace-2 suited under the gun, a little bit surprising to me. I think it's a reasonable, I think it's just a good fold, in fact, not a reasonable fold. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some people open that. I mean, ace is a nice blocker as well in ICM. I guess I'm gonna try and maybe I'll do faster speed. Maybe I'll just skip through because there's definitely too much content here for me to review everything. So I'm kind of, I guess, just gonna fire through like this. Ace four off, Paul in the hijack here. I think honestly, I think this is too loose of an open. It's a little bit. If we look at the stacks afterwards, he is opening into Joe, who he covers. He's opening into Jacob, who he covers. But if Jacob goes all in, he's in a really horrible spot with the ace four. I think he has to. Does he have to call? I don't even know. He'll have like a really good price. Maybe he has to call. Medi, who can just jam. Medi can like play really wide here and jam. But then yeah, he covers Vic. So I think if he covered Medi as well, like this open would be fine. And I think as the stacks are, it's a little bit loose. I can see why he does it. Ace four is a better open here than like 10-9 suited, for example, because you want the blocker. Joe immediately in a tough spot, and this goes to show like what ICM does. Because he really wants to outlast the next guy, so he doesn't want to jam here and just run into it. You could free bet fold ace 10. I think that's a reasonable option here. Make it like 100,000 or 95,000 and then fold. Jacob, king 7 suited, he's just got a pretty easy fold. But he doesn't. He goes all in. So yeah, this I don't think this is a good play, to be honest. I didn't remember this hand. But he's just got no fold equity. Like as much as I say chip EV, like this is not quite enough hand. Like his open range is like tighter than usual, and the loser hands are going to be ace highs, which you're just not doing well against. So you just want like enough. Even like king jack, I think there's some reason to fold here. So like king 10 suited, king jack off. That's where I'm probably starting to think about putting it in as Jacob here. And now I guess we look at the price, 90 to win, 310, and maybe we just have to shrug our shoulders and call. We don't expect to be ahead very often, but if we know he's jamming king 7 suited, we would snap. I think it's probably a cycle with the price. And yeah, he just flops a flush with the king 7 suited, so good jam. Okay, like we can see the stacks more cleanly here though. This is that massive gap I was talking about. 11, 14, 15, 16, 8. Like all these are kind of in the same group as much as, Vic's at the bottom of it. But still, like it's easy enough for someone like Peter to just get it all in. Whereas like yeah, we're almost in like another tournament the way that our stacks are playing. I guess us three are kind of close. Shout out to the police siren. I'm sure you can hear that 'cause it's very loud. Georgios is like reasonably far ahead of me as well. So I'm gonna try and just skip through to kind of interesting hands. I could sit here and like think about what I do in every spot as every player. Medi, I guess he's going to free bet and then call off against the cutoff open here. He could even potentially, yeah, I was going to say he could jam if the effective stack is low enough, and then tens is going to call. Pretty standard stuff. And just like that, Jacob doubles up hand one and busts in hand two, which is nice for, Vic, Jacob, and Joe. They all get the ladder, and Paul in this point. They're all in very similar spots. Ace three suited is a standard open from me. And interesting spot for Georgios here. I think calling you can. We're so deep, it's almost like it can't go that wrong. Like if he calls and loses the hand, he's still big chip leader. It's not a big deal. Queen six is a little bit ropey because my range is not, I'm not opening loose by any means. Um, I don't know. I think it kind of says a lot about the player if they call a hand like this because he's like he's wanting to get involved. Maybe almost a little bit too much if he calls a hand like this. Like Queen eight, I guess I would still call because he covers me. I have to be a little bit more passive post flop. You can get away with playing a few more hands, but Queen six, I think as much as he covers me and can play wide, and my range is still, I'm not opening King four suited. I'm not going to open, like Jack 10 offsuit. Actually, I wouldn't put it past me, but in this spot, I don't think I would because I'm still opening into the chip leader's big blind. Joe's got aces. I think I remember this hand, and this is a sick hand. Vitali was 7-2 suited. So this is like a ropey call, 7-2 suited in the big blind. Usually you want to call suited hands. It's nice that you cover, but yeah, the open range is very strong. So if you're going to shave off some hands, this is one of them. Brandon, are you not going to the WSOP this summer? I saw someone had Junior Fantasy for $1. I'm actually flying to Vegas tomorrow, and I'm going to be playing focused on WSOP events, so I'm going to catch the last flight in the 500 mystery bounty. I'm going to play. I missed the 5K Hold'em. I think that's the only WSOP event I missed that I would have played if I was there. And I'm literally going to play everything between 500 and a lot of 5Ks and 10Ks as well compared to usual. I think most all the 5K Hold'ems actually. PLO I'll probably play up to 3K. So I think honestly I think for me I think $1 is very good value for the volume that I put in and the fact I'm more focused on World Series. And I think they changed the formula this year, so um, I actually could, if I just have like one or two deep runs in a big field event, then I could be worth quite a lot. But big fields, big variance. I might just get loads of min cashes. I don't know what that's worth. But I'll probably get like at least 10 cashes in World Series events if I had to guess, something like this. Somewhere between 8 and 15 cashes in World Series events. So that's always worth something. And this hand kind of plays itself relatively post flop. Like he's got a pair and a flush draw on the turn. He just kind of runs it against the aces. And he drills the flush, which is pretty sick for aces because 7-2 suited could have folded pre there. Like I think it's a bit too loose of a call pre, but it can never be. It can never be like a massive torch. It's not 7-2 offsuit. Yeah, it's a shame. Just like that, we lost two. So yeah, imagine like how good you feel to be Vic, Paul, or Peter right now, just seeing the ladders. Can't see the payouts here, but 368 people in the tournament. King Queen off open. So this is what I meant by Peter, someone who thanks for the good luck. By Peter, someone who's just a bit more happy to get in the mix. This is sort of hand that you probably would fold even in Chippy V off this stack depth because you want to be deeper to play 10-9 suited, especially in the cutoff. But in ICM, you would for sure fold. Even Jack 10 suited, you would just fold here as Peter. But he's just happy to get in the mix. Like he's playing more for the win, and that's fine. Everyone's got their own approach. If you wanted to play to make the most money, you're gonna come like fifth and fourth more. Um, if you're gonna play his style, you're gonna win the tournament more. And if that's what you play, I think that's still fine. Uh, Interesting flop. Peter checks back. I think this is a wise check again with ICM in mind. If you start betting with your open ender, you face a raise, you're in a horrible spot. You don't necessarily want to just jam the turn. The flush could get there, like the ace or the board could pair. Like loads of bad things could happen if you start betting the flop here. I think you realize your equity a lot better by checking. And now this is an example of one of those turns where, yeah, now your king isn't as good. It could be a club or a spade. You don't even have a draw to the nuts anymore. You could potentially start bluffing the turn though. Block king 10. And it's hard for you to have nothing because your range should be kind of strong too. So yeah, I might have started bluffing the turn as Peter there, and then just jammed a brick river. You can see hands like this are in a tough spot. You put his Jack X, his Queen X, his Pocket Kings in a tough spot. Even his like Ace 5 is in a tough spot if you bet turn Jam River. Yeah, he was just done with it. That's the stacks now, so you can see three short stacks and then a massive, massive drop. I've actually fell down to fourth place by the looks of it. Because Vitali stacked that guy, Medi stacked someone else, so they've just jumped up to slightly more than me. Georgios didn't really change. But yeah, it's such an interesting stack distribution. Goes to show you how much variance there is at final tables when it can be so different. Medi with King Queen again. Beals all in with Jacks. I have an easy fold. Uh, Maybe it'd be easier if I put it on a faster speed. I'm not sure. Try 3.5 or 4. Yeah, if I put it on this, I can just pause it as and when we see something interesting. Pretty tight fold in the big blind there from Medi. Big blind versus +1. I think that's because he's open bigger. He's 2.5x it, which I would just min raise, but you know, open into a cover and stack, it's not crazy. A6 is a hand that I think would call or free bet fold if you faced a min raise there. Folding's definitely fine though. It's like the worst offsuit ace. Yeah, I guess if I go too fast, I might get ahead of the buffer, and that could be a problem if it's going to start lagging. But so far, it looks like it's okay. See, my laptop sets on fire from doing too much at once. Uh, Tricky spot there for Vic. So he's the shortest now. Mm, yeah, it's a you don't. Yeah, honestly, I'm like I don't know what you should do here with 6-5 suited because you want fold equity. He is the shortest, but Paul is not that far away. So you want to play a lot tighter than Chippy V. Maybe not a lot, but like reasonably tighter than Chippy V. Mm, you do have. It's a lot nicer to jam into Peter than to jam into like Georgios because it's harder for Peter to call you off. I think with a hand like he's got, he would have called. Mm. I feel I would play jam or fold here. I wouldn't have a limp range. But as an exploit, if you don't think your opponent's going to jam on you enough, having a limp range seems okay. But then 6-5 suited is not the hand I would want because you know you keep him in with Queen 6 off, let's say, or Jack 6 off, or even like 9-5 off. Like so many hands that you want him to fold are still there. So I think I would decide at pre-flop like I'm either jamming or not, and I think it's a really close one against Peter exactly as well, who's not going to overfold. I think I would just fold. I think I would just give him a walk as much as it sucks for 6-5 suited, but I could have a quick look at. So again, this is not going to be perfect, but let's just find a random final table ICM spot. See if my head's in sort of the right place at least. So he had 7.5. So if I check 7 blinds, and like obviously this is not the perfect stack depth. The ICM pressure is not going to be the same as well. But I'll just check a random. It'd be nice if the average stack was more, but I guess we're not going to find that. I'll check. So this one he's got eight. The small blind's got 8 big blinds. There's a 12 big blind stack. The average stack's 40 bigs. There's some big stacks, but we're jamming into a big stack. So if it jams in this one, it's probably going to be a jam in our situation, if I had to guess. And it looks like it is. I mean, it's like, hmm, the interesting thing for me here is the EV is pretty similar. So like you can min raise, you can limp, you can go all in. Limp in range doesn't really exist, but the fact that you know it's there somewhat sometime, like it's not zero. It is the exact sort of hand where you're like if you're on the fence, calling does seem okay. 5-4 suited too. Min raise seems kind of like a cool idea. I feel like yeah, if you min raise, at least you got a bit of clearance with this hand. Um, but you don't get much fold equity if you raise the two bigs. So yeah, and I guess in this situation you'd be called quite a lot. Yeah, you're going to be called only 42% of the time. Not crazy. And it's a big pickup because you've got half a big blind in. There's two more there. You're picking up two and a half bigs by risking your like seven. That is a lot. And obviously you need to keep up with this other guy in this case. Like you can't just necessarily fold your way to get in the next ladder, and you still want a chance to win the tournament. It's always hard to like put all these variables together and just decide how it all actually plans out. So yeah, it seems like call is on the table. Let me just check. That was eight bigs. Let me just check a seven big blind option. The stack distributions are going to be different. There's going to be different ICM pressure, but let's just check this one. Uh, and again, it's there. It doesn't like min raise and call. Seems okay. So yeah, it seems like it's always a play though, no matter the situation. Um, so if I folded this, it would have been slightly too tight if I had to guess. Yeah, it's possible Peter still overfolds. It's a lot of his stack. He might just fold king two offsuit. He might fold 10-8 suited. Not sure. So yeah, interesting spot. I don't think you can make a big mistake when it's 0.01, 0.02. And then yeah, it's so weird playing post flop when the ranges are like this. Peter should probably call two overs, backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw versus a small bet if I had to guess. But no one's used to spots like this. These are the payouts, by the way. So we lost two pretty fast. We're guaranteed pretty much 10k at this point. The next pay jump is about 3k. Yeah, about £3,000, and then obviously they'll just get bigger and bigger. The big blind calls too much, more than the solo suggests there. No ace is going to fold to two gappers. Sorry, that was all in, not min. Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, what your assumption of your big blind is going to be more important in practice. Like I would have guessed Peter's kind of happy to gamble with 10-8 suited, but some people won't. I'm just going to skip through the hands that I'm not involved in. Although I remember this was actually a sick call by Medi. Medi induced the river here. Medi bet. I can't. So if I quickly plan through the way the hand went out, Vitali opened, Medi called, Vitali c bet, Medi called the flop, Ace Jack backdoor flush draw, turn checked, and then the guy checked the river. Wait, so the Vitali led. That's why this hand's weird. Sorry, I am gonna go through this one actually because this is a funky hand. Mhm. So he's opened ace eight off under the gun. I think that's okay, ropey. It's probably too loose. Chip leaders in the big blind, big stacking. But as you can see, the situation that happens. And now that the big blind's in the pot, you wanna, and the other guy in the cutoff is deep. You wanna heavily check this spot. You wanna probably bet. I mean, you could even just never bet. But if you are gonna bet, the sort of hand he's got does make sense to me. He's got the ace of spades. He's got a club. He's got a hand with good barrels, a hand with good clearance, um, good properties for a bet. I'd probably rather something with a backdoor straight draw as well, I guess, like ace six. I mean, I guess you can't have that, or like ace 10 with the ace of spades, or ace five suited, a hand with like more immediate properties. But betting with this hand seems fine. And yeah, I think you don't really want to bet big when we're all so deep. And he's pretty much betting to say, yeah, I might have ace king or aces, but even pocket fours and threes he doesn't necessarily open. Medi floats, which he's got backdoor to the nuts. They're pretty deep. Seems okay. Medi folding the flop doesn't seem crazy to me either with the ICM. When the turn goes check check, and then the other guy checks the river. So I think you should probably barrel. You should probably barrel this time with the ace eight, because it's nice to have a bluff when spades come. Your block is not flush draws. You just put pressure on Medi with all his pocket pairs, and I think he has a lot of pocket fives through pocket tens. He has some ace highs, which you want clearance from. So yeah, I think I would just always barrel the turn with the ace eight here. And then as played, now you get a river that would have been like the nut river to triple barrel, interacting with ace two and more importantly nut flush draws because you really don't want your opponent to have those at this point. And now he checks, so like he's just taking a weird line, like stab into two, check, check. Like why would you not barrel the turn if he had something good? Um, unless he has like maybe the only hand I'm thinking he might have sometimes is like ace jack of spades that was or queen jack of spades that was like I've got a high equity hand, then was like oh, I've got a jack, and now it's like oh I want to trap and check raise or something. But it's such a weird line. So now Medi just induces the river. He goes for the third bet, hoping that the guy bluff raises to then snap call him. Yeah, he literally one chip snap calls this guy when he makes a huge 5x raise with no blocker. So he literally was like, I just don't think the guy takes this line with value. I'm just gonna hope I'm gonna try and induce a check raise that doesn't make sense into him. I mean, I think it's not crazy to think he might have ace jack of spades or ace four of spades maybe, ace queen of spades sometimes, queen jack of. I'm not sure. It's not crazy, but people usually don't, not barrel the turn and then not value bet the river. So I can see what Mermaid's head was at. It was pretty sick that he just absolutely snap called him though, like ruthless. It was just like, yeah, I've got you, and he was right. I think this is the issue that opens super bottom of range is people don't know how to play. But yeah, that is the problem. Like, don't expand your range if you're not having an edge on everyone at the table post flop. Like, and I don't think this guy has an edge against Medi or Georgios, and they both got deep stacks. So you can kind of make up for not having an edge if you cover people and you can pressure them. But he's not chip leader, so I think it was too wide of an open, and then it cost him a pretty big pot. This was a pretty lame spot for me. Peter's just open ripped 18 bigs in the cutoff with pocket freeze, which is too loose in ICM, but it's not crazy, He's only got to get through three players. It's hard for us to call. We're like leveraged against each other, but he does have a few more big blinds than Vic, and he's got nearly 1.8 or something times pull stacks. Yeah, there's too much ICM. You just fold freeze here in the cutoff. But yeah, obviously I find ace king and it's a fake flip and I lose, which is pretty annoying. Uh, because it's possible that obviously I can't do anything. I have to call my ace king, and it's annoying it's a flip. It's annoying to not win. Yeah, I'm gonna try and just stick to the hands that I play. So here, I open king nine off in the cutoff here. Uh, kind of close because now Medi covers me by a lot. I obviously cover Paul by a lot. The blocker is very relevant when you play mainly against jam stack. So it's like king nine off is a chippy V open. Do I want to expand or constrict my range? Well, the big blind stack and the button stack is reason to expand my range. The small blind stack is reason to constrict my range. How does that merge together? Honestly, I don't know. I'm just winging it, and I decided I think it's reasonable open. I wouldn't have opened like I wouldn't have opened, for example, like 10-8 suited here because I just don't think it's got as good properties as having a king blocker. And interesting spot for Vic. He could jam, he could call. I can see why he calls. Jam's nice to get fold equity, especially from hands like I've got. Call, he like dominates some stuff. His hand plays reasonably well. You don't bust the tournament as often because you can play some streets. But yeah, I think jam is completely fine if he did that because it makes me fold hands like ace five off and like there's a lot of just offsuit ace highs. It's really nice to make fold. Yeah, I go for a small bet on the flop. Yeah, I remember thinking I'm not sure what he's got here, but I think if he had a better hand than me, he would raise the flop a lot. Like if he had aces or king jack suited, let's say, that didn't jam pre or didn't free bet pre, I think he would mainly raise the flop. I mean, sometimes he has like a really strong hand like king six suited, sure, but I think I just have to stack off if he does. So I'm just betting turn to probably jam river. If he jams turn, I'm in a horrible spot there, but probably cycle it off. Funky, funky hand from Peter here. Again, Medi's open the cutoff. So Peter again, he's in the absolute bin here because Vic's got less than 10 bigs, Paul's got less than 10 bigs, and he's like in this weird area of his own with 700k. I guess like he's not too far off Vitali, and like I'm like a bit above that, but like he's basically just in the bin. He has to play super tight until Vic and Paul bust, and now it doesn't mean he shouldn't go after chip leaders and wide ranges and have some free bets, but what he does here is he free bets really small. Medi opens to 40 and he makes 85, like just over 2x, and it just doesn't give you any fold equity. Look, Medi has to call King Jack off. That's not what you want. You either want to jam on him, make him fold because he's opening too wide, or you want to free bet bigger so at least you can't just call with any hand that he's got. And ace eight off, yeah, playing out of position when you're covered against someone who's competent is not a nice spot. Yeah, then he's bet really small, so Medi gets to float the flop with double backdoor hand. Um, and then, yeah, I guess Medi has to fold the turn now. But yeah, he's created a big pot with a very okay hand. Uh, Dicey, very dicey. The short stacks battle it out. Uh, I remember this spot. I was deciding whether to call. I only called here because, well, now there's like one short stack. We're kind of getting more towards playing, not chippy V, but battling. And Peter's someone I determined is like playing a little bit too loose. Like if I flop a good hand with Jack six here, it's probably more likely to, give me his whole stack if I hit two pair or trips or something. I think this is questionable call though, even now. I could have folded this Jack six, maybe I should have. I didn't know he had the ace eight in the last hand, but I've seen him be very loose in the last spots. Yeah, he bet small, I call. Uh, yeah, I went for a super razor thin value bet on the river here because he didn't barrel. So queen jack four, he doesn't barrel. I don't think he's got a queen. So I basically was betting the river, hoping he either didn't river the king or didn't have ace jack or jack 10, exactly like a better jack than me. But I think this is probably too thin. I think I just didn't want to face a river bet because if I check, I think I have to check fold and then maybe he gets the win with his bluffs if he has like ace X. But now I think he probably crying calls with his pocket pairs or if he has like ace four, ace seven, pocket eights. So I don't know. I can see what I was thinking, but I could have just check folded this river. I could have just folded pre. I remember this hand. Medi gets the value check raise on the river, induces a bluff. Mm. Kind of interesting spot here with the ace-6 suited. It's a nice hand to free bet. Vitali has shown that he's going to open loose. I think I would like to see myself free bet this a lot of the time. Could fold it as well. I wouldn't really have a call range here. Mm. Looks like there's no small blind this hand. Is that true? Medi's in the big blind. No, sorry, Vic's in the big blind. Yeah, I think I would play free bet or fold with this exact hand. Like an ace five suited, an ace eight suited is just a little bit nicer. This one, I don't remember what I did, but I think I'd like to free bet. Free bet to like somewhere between 2.5 and 3x. But I call. So yeah, I think my reason for call here is I wanted to play a hand with this guy. But Vic can jam on us, which is not nice, and Medi can squeeze. My range, it's hard to protect my range and not free bet with good hands here. So I can see why I've done this, but I think a free bet or fold would be better. Shout out to the sirens again. Someone call the police on that A6 suited call because it is criminal. And obviously he just gets the jam and gets it through. Yeah, I think makes sense to pure call here. Pocket eights, big blind versus cutoff. Now big size in from Peter. Doesn't feel nice, but because I've got the flush draw with it, I'm gonna call. I would fold. Even like just a bare nine. I think I would fold here. If I have like 9-8 suited versus this size, it's just like where are you gonna go? It's not even nice to turn two pair with 9-8 of diamonds here, is it? So yeah, pairs and flush draws are what I'm looking to have. Yeah, this is a really tough spot, and looking at his hand, I mean it's annoying. What's my price here? He's bet 85. I'm calling 85 to win 400. I have 28% equity against the hand that he's got. Mm. The annoying thing is like if he just ever has a set, or if he ever has a hand that has more like a ace queen with the queen of clubs, for example, or if he has a made flush. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards the fact that I should have folded. Just reserve it for like I can have 10-9 off with the 10 of clubs. Even a hand like king queen with the king of clubs, like a bear king high flush draw, or like if I had an ace, it's a tricky spot already too, but it's hard to fold top pair. Uh, and yeah, I got there. But yeah, I'm not sure about that turn call with the pocket eight. I remember being in a tough spot in game. If he bet slightly bigger, I know I would have folded too, but that doesn't mean it was a good call. And I can see I had the price against his hand, but if he has stronger hands in that range, then it's not going to be great. And if he might just bluff me on the river, it's a brick if he had a king queen off with a club himself. Spot this can be a problem. Uh, Looks like I limp with the king eight, facing a raise. Tough spot. King eight's a strong hand. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I think this is feels like it's too much hand to limp fold. Hmm. I'll have a quick look at something. Blind v blind, Wild West of poker. It's going to be hard to find a final table sim where we're so deep, where we both have like 40, but we're also not, the deepest stacks at the table. Uh, this is not perfect, but my 44 average 60. I guess we're a lot more short-handed now as well. We're six-handed. Yeah, my 45 into 60 with an average stack of 50. Look at that one first. So me not having a raise range to begin with because, poker's like judo. You want to play into your opponent's aggression, give them the license to do something. Uh, Yeah, it was a six spot versus him on the turn there. Just sorry, just catching up with the comments every now and again when I remember to look down. Yeah, you can see the big blind. In this case, this distribution is obviously not exactly the same, but where the average stack's kind of deep. In this case, there isn't a super short stack, but the big blind has license to raise a lot. Value from like nines plus, suited aces, like this region, and then loads of random offsuit trash. It's really hard to get your frequency right here. No one's going to get it perfect, but Medi's an aggressive player. I think he raised slightly bigger than 3x, but you can see, yeah, king 8 is on the line here, but it's going to sometimes limp raise, sometimes limp call. So given that he raised slightly bigger, there's slightly more ICM pressure, I do think it's going to be around indifference in practice. So I can see why I folded when you get like a neutral spot, but you can't just be giving up every neutral spot because otherwise, someone could take advantage. Um, but I think I definitely put my foot down at some times at this table, and I think I showed that I'm someone that could, which is important to be aware of. Like if we'd never played together before, his frequency might be way out of whack here, but I think he knows I've got limp raises, I've got limp calls, and like a lot of defense versus his ISO. So he's not just gonna be like I'm just gonna ISO this guy with any two or something crazy. Uh, Interesting spot for Vic. Looking at the stacks, he's playing less than 20. I think he just has to jam this ace four off because it's a tough spot for me, so I don't want to call and like double him up. I'm going to still open the button relatively wide. The ace is just too much of a power card, and there's a big enough gap between him and the next stack. So yeah, I think that he should just go all in. He free bets non all in. I was so close to jamming this spot. I remember this spot now because that's the problem with him taking this non all in. Like, what hands does he want to do this with? If he has ace king, surely he just jams. He's playing like 18 blinds. So it's literally ace queen suited, ace king suited, jacks plus, which is only a few hands. But then if he starts to bluff with, offsuit ace x or offsuit king x instead and puts it in this line. So yeah, I remember really thinking like this is a bluff. Should I just four bet send this? But then I think I determined that if he is over bluffing this spot, he's giving me a good price and I'm in position. I actually dominate most of the bluffs because his bluffs in my head were coming from king two to king six, maybe king seven offsuit. I thought the ace x would jam. Maybe it's some offsuit like 10-9, offsuit jack-9, offsuit queen 8, these sort of hands too. Like I think I actually play really well in position with a good price against the bluff range. I don't necessarily need to do this. Free bet Nolan's, yeah, it's very easy to overdo this, and it's hard to know who's doing it enough. But just because of the sizing and the bit, like, I just thought I just didn't believe it in game. And I honestly, straight away here, I was between going all in or call. I ended up calling. And yeah, he jams the flop, which I don't think he should jam the flop either. I can see why he does though. Like he just jams for like pot. Um, yeah, he had a close. I don't actually know what he's supposed to do on the flop because kind of no man's land. But imagine his like if he has king of clubs X, like he can kind of play a two or three street game. Like if he has king six with a king of clubs, And if he has a hand like kings, he doesn't really want to jam. I guess if he has like ace jack suited or ace king, maybe he's just like ace king of hearts. I'm just going to stick it in. I could see someone doing that. But I think on a board like this, you're probably not supposed to. But again, it can never be that bad. You don't want to put yourself in a spot where you make big mistakes, and if you jam it, if it's not a big mistake, then. So let's find the big blind with like 18 blinds. He was the shortest stack. Maybe I have to give him 19. Uh, there isn't like a short. I mean, this one's 20. Sure, let's see. Again, it's not going to jam as much off 20, but let's just see what it says. Button open. Big blind, lots of jam. I mean, you can see this non-all in size cropping up off 20. I favor the jam rather than, open yourself up to exactly what happened. You can see, yeah, king nine suited likes to call because it plays well, it's in position, whereas, it's better for me to jam ace five off, hands that don't play as well, have a blocker, or like some suited aces, more equity, I guess, when they're called, don't play as well in the call line. King nine suited is almost like bolstered, doesn't need to jam. Or like ace jack off, offsuit hand is almost like, sure, let's just run it. But you can see his free bet call range is literally ace king suited, aces, kings. Even queens is mainly favoring jam pre. And this is with more chips. A little bit of ace queen and ace jack suited. So it's so easy to overdo these spots. Let me see, the stack he actually had was 18, which is going to be even more reason to jam. This stack distribution is not perfect because he was the shortest stack. But here you can see as well, obviously call's fine too. I didn't really touch on the fact call's fine. Uh, yeah, lots of all in, a little bit of non all in this case. Kind of similar range, queens plus. Jack's mainly wanting to go all in. So yeah, that's what you need to think about. Where does his value threshold start? And if he's going to find king five off, king seven off, king four off, is he going to do it pure or is he going to mix? Yeah, I think my read was he was bluffing, but I don't think so. I think I would have always jammed like ace two off there, ace five off, but king nine suited, nothing else I could do. And I think this ace eight suited call, I'm not sure about that. He's a bit deeper now. Yeah, so I think it's fine actually. You don't really want to free bet fold. Jam's a little bit big. You're now closer to the next stack. I think yeah, this was an annoying hand for Vic because he had the nut flush draw. I think he check calls twice and then he just loses to a pocket pair. Yeah, he could have jammed the turn. Yeah, I think he should have jammed the turn there. He has like the straight draw with it, makes him fold ace queen, ace jack, or hands like this. But easier said than done. So it's hard when you're at a final table to bluff jam in case you just run into it. Looks like a pure call, or have I gone for a bluff? Interesting. So Vic's opened off 15, 15 bigs. I've decided to free bet. No, I think I should just call king nine here. I think king nine's a little bit too strong. Maybe I'm like I'm reeling from the last king nine, thinking why didn't I just take the aggressive route in case I missed the flop. I mean, as it happens, he had ace nine and I made him fold, so it worked out pretty perfect. But that doesn't mean it was the best play. And I am free bet folding here. I guess I could have made it a touch smaller as well. Because five bigs would be 125. I could have made like 130k because he's playing like 390. He's playing 395. So yeah, I'm giving myself a bit of a nice price, even though king nine off, easy fold if you get there. But let's just have a look. Big blind versus hijack when the hijack has 15 blinds. See where the non-all-ins come from. Because I know why I've done this, but it doesn't mean it was the right thing to do. Uh, he's the shortest stack, so we want a deeper average stack. That seems okay. 16 blinds instead. Opens from the hijack. Mm, yeah, you can see King Nine's too good. It's just a call. Although Queen Nine's there, and yeah, the EV is it's always going to be right on the fence. In fact, it's indifferent. It's literally like 0.01 difference. So I can see why he did this. I think because he bumped up his size and he added 5k. He raised to 55 instead of 50, which means in theory like your King 8 now folds and like these bluffs are going to be moved up, but it's kind of random, isn't it? Like Ace 3 off, King 5 off, King 7 off. As long as you're not perceived to overdo it and you think they might overfold, they might open enough, I think it's reasonable, but maybe I'm slightly forcing it a little bit here to choose the King 9 off. And next hand he gets Ace 9 off again and folds one seat earlier. Oh, I had pocket fives this hand. I remember this spot. Yeah, that was a grim one. It looks like it might have been a bad fold by me. I've opened the cutoff, and then he's jammed just under 12, and he's the shortest stack. Mm, yeah, that might be a bad fold. So I want to find small blind as the short stack with 12, and ideally like reasonable average stack. Again, the distribution's not perfect, but just to get a small window of an idea. So yeah, he had A7 suited, which is a good jam from him. I mean, again, stack's not perfect, but it's the sort of hand that you like to jam. Suited aces, again, like I think pocket fives might call just because of this. Fours and threes jam sometimes. Ace two to ace four jam sometimes. I'm flipping against most of this stuff. Yeah, bad fold by me. At least I recognized it now. I'm not sure why I folded, to be honest. Pocket pairs do really well versus small jams. But glad I folded because I bloody won the tournament. Every mistake I made led to good things. This guy torched it a bit here. Vitali. You see Vic's like pretty short stack. Um, I think in game you're probably taking edge into consideration of these spots. Yeah, yeah, I do agree. Like I don't want to be too hard on myself too. Um, I do if it's a close spot, I might not take it. And maybe I thought fives was a lot closer to the line than I think it is. Like realizing how much EV it's worth now, I would have took it, and like the state of the FT and like how things are going. Um, but if it was like if I saw now one that's indifferent and I folded that, I'd be like, yeah, I folded because I think it was close and thought I had an edge. But so yeah, I folded and say like maybe freeze is the line. I don't remember whether EV's becoming different. Um, but yeah, I mean, given this hand happened, yeah, definitely err on the side of caution in ICM. So this is blind v blind. Looks like George just opened the button. Vitali calls with king queen suited, which is fine. Could free bet, but then do you really want to free bet fold king queen suited? Probably not. The flop, Vitali check raises. Seems okay. I think I would probably err on the side of caution. I think you're a little bit too deep. And then on the turn, he barrels. Georgios turns the straight. And now Georgios is just like, this guy ain't folding. The river might get bad. I'm just going to stick it in. And yeah, he's just drawing dead on the turn, so he's gone. He's literally left the table before they dealt the river. I think he just overplayed his hand a little bit there. Maybe he's going to stack off on that river, in fact, anyway. But I think he he could have not raised the flop or not bet the turn or just been a bit more coy because of Vic sitting there with how many bigs is that? 13 bigs. Open the button with king 5 suited. Vic calls with jack 10. This should just go small bet fold. So this is good ICM poker. Just calling queens here because it's one and two in chips, not wanting to get it in. What do I think about the jam pre with king queen suited? I think it's fine, but given Vic stack, I just wouldn't. I'd just be like king queen suited dominates hands. Let's just play some streets. Most people don't leverage the fact they cover you enough, so you're not going to be like ran over as much. And it's a king or a queen high board where you just go call, 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 and they maybe overbluff. That's where good things can happen. If you're going to miss the board, it's like you only lost two bigs or a small pot. But jam and run into it, or just lose the flip, or whatever happens, is just horrible for this stack distribution. Maybe if the average stack's lower and like jam king queen suited there, and the guy calls with ace jack or he calls with tens, you win the flip and you go chip lead, then the incentive kind of comes back. Or like if you're more shallow, so he was playing closer to 30, 35 bigs there. But if you're playing like 20 bigs there, if you can jam, make him fold ace two to ace eight offsuit, that's like 12 combos of each hand, and all those hands were better than you. So that's the sort of spot where I'd be more inclined to jam king queen suited, folding out ace highs. I think Medi bluffs off a lot here. Good check on the turn by Georgios. Good ICM recognition to not get queens in pre for 100 bigs. Yeah, I remember watching this hand thinking, please be like quads against the boat, cooler each other. We lose Vic in fifth. I call Queen 4 because it's first Peter's open, again, wanting to get in the mix. This is a board where I could have considered a check raise. Yeah, you're playing with a big anti four-handed here as well. That's also going to play into me calling Queen 4 off here. Definitely got to play looser than if it was like an online tournament with regular antis. Now I'm just done with the hand because, I don't have a spade. He's probably got a medium strength hand, so I have to check fold. But yeah, I might have check raise the flop sometimes. Maybe not when I don't have two suits to match the board. Do I peel here? No. I think I could probably peel here versus Peter. I guess I have to play pretty tight. I'm kind of waiting for Peter to bust now because I'm so far behind Medi and Georgios. But playing a hand against Peter, that's like taking chips from him is good. But Medi might squeeze me out. So I could just fold King Jack. Georgios free bet. Yeah, min raise the small blind. Wouldn't recommend that. Blind v blind into someone that covers you. It's a relatively standard blind v blind hand. Now we're going on a break. So say how long? This was a sick one. Peter has bottom two against top set and he doesn't get stacked. Fair play. Now Peter's got five big blinds, so I had to play super tight. I thought about folding king queen off here in the cutoff. I think that would have been a bad fold, but Peter's literally sitting there with now 3.2 big blinds. Like I can be binned so much with any hand I play, but king queen's just too good. I could see myself folding like king 10. Big ante as well. He gets his four big blind jam through. I limp fold queen two suited. Yep. Yeah, I don't worry about limp folding some hands because I'm already open folding so much. It's not like I limp folding too much by limp folding queen two suited. I think it's still a lot of hand. Remember this spot. Ace king suited here. Small blind against a chip leader open. I decided I was still going to run it, but basically I want to give him room. So I'm getting my ace king suited in, but ideally I want fold equity. So I'm going to free bet non all in, and I'm giving him room to click it back, so then I can five bet jam with fold equity. That would be the best result for my hand. Not he jams with ace five suited and I have to hold, or he jams with pocket fives and I have to win a flip. Ideal is I win as much as possible and don't have any showdown. 'Cause yeah, look, 37 against 36.7. So even hands like maybe ace queen suited, I might have just flat adverse the open there, not wanting to get it in this spot. Peter doubles up. Uh, Limp with the jack 10. Yep, it's too much hand. I think I could check or bet. He's got a pure call. Pair, a gut shot, backdoor flush draw. Jack 10, I can barrel for value. Get value from worse Jack X, value from pairs and straight draws. Yeah, I think this is pretty reasonable. I could think I could size up a little bit. He makes a pretty good fold with the 10-7. I remember this hand. So the stacks have leveled out a little bit. I'm still like over 2 XP a stack. Uh, I've gone for the ISO 6-4 off again. It's kind of a trashy hand. Uh, he puts me straight all in. Ace 3 suited. Limp, I'm going to go for. Interesting if I go for limp call or limp jam here. I think limp jam versus an ISO with a hand like this is actually pretty reasonable. Four-handed, and I'm playing 34 big blinds, 33 big blinds, something like this. This setup looks okay. Again, not perfect. Yeah, again, same principle as before. No reason to open myself. He's the one that's got license to be aggressive. So I want to induce that. And then he ISOs a lot. He has some bigger ISO size sometimes, but yeah, he's just ISOing loads of trash from down here. His value starts with like pocket eights, all this good stuff. So if he raises the free, the jam is not coming from this sort of hand. Uh, the EV is like just too much less. I mean, it's not, it doesn't seem crazy. Yeah, it looks like the solver just prefers ace nine off. I guess it wants more equity when it gets called from a hand like pocket eights. Maybe to block more call-in range. Yeah, it's quite high up this limp jam range. And you still have room to limp raise. Obviously, you don't want to limp jam aces, you want to limp raise. And when we limp jam 34 bigs, yeah, he calls even pocket sixes. So I guess the ace nine flips against more hands in this case. That's what makes it better. Yeah, I guess more notable that we just do have limp jams in this spot, despite we're not the shortest stack. We're quite deep. There's still ICM. There's a big pay jump, but still you can limp jam 34. Pick up the five big blinds in the middle. Still pretty nice. But I think did I limp call? I think I limp call. Nice to have a hand. He's potentially going to want to play a big pot in times that I can. Ever hit ace three, ever hit three three, ever hit a nut flush. He starts with a big flop size, so he's already being kind of polar. Easy check call from my hand. Turn is going to be an easy check call as well. I think he should just give up. He wants to basically barrel when he turns equity, when he turns a spade, maybe if the turn's a diamond. I think I should just check decide the river. He doesn't really have a 10, so I guess whether he's gonna bluff enough. He didn't bluff with air, so check call the river. Maybe I'm getting owned there a little bit if he just has too much value, but it's pretty hard for him to have value with the line he took. Uh, this was a pretty sick hand. This is actually a really sick spot. Uh, it might not actually look that sick until the showdown. Raise ace jack, he calls king free. We check to the river, he's got a free. Uh, on the river, I snap show my hand. I show ace jack high. Peter shows a king, and then he mucks his hand. So he had king free. Yeah, he had a pair, but he mucked the best hand. And this was pretty not a huge spot, but 165k at this point. That would have put him up to 700 and something k. That would have and put me what like closer towards him. It's actually pretty significant, really. And then the very next hand, or maybe it was in two hands. Sorry. Uh, Peter jams, and now I have to call with king queen suited versus his jam. If he had more chips, maybe he wouldn't have jammed. Maybe he'd price me out. I'm not sure. Uh, but yeah, if he had like 17 blinds here, I guess he min raises and I call, and it's a different hand. But now I have to call him with the king queen suited, and I get the. So literally two hands after he mucked the best hand, I then bust him. Like change the course of history. It's pretty nice for me at least. Are we going on a break? Yeah, honestly, these are two guys I did not want to get free-handed with because they're very good, but they're very aggressive. It's going to be a lot of tough spots. I said straight away, do we want to look at numbers? Georgios said yes. Mehdi said no. Um, and he told me afterwards it wasn't because he thought he was like some wizard that had a massive edge. It's because he just wanted to be more experienced playing free-handed and heads up, playing for like real stakes. Playing for actual pay jumps rather than it's a bit more relaxed environment when you do a deal and you just play for like 10% of the prize pool. Um, Which is true, and it is meaningful. Like if you don't get the reps in spots like this, how are you ever going to get better at it? You need to be able to play under pressure. That's part of being a pro. So I'm going to try just focus on the hands that I'm involved in. Although you can see these guys were battling, who I remember. Medi check raise in pocket sixes, Georgios doing something which I thought was pretty ridiculous here and not folding 7-3 off. Like he has a backdoor straight draw, but that's it. Like you need something. 5-6 of spades, maybe. Come on, like King 10, King Jack. Like if he's calling this, he's literally like he's not folding. He's not folding anything. Um, so maybe he got value, but then yeah, he's immediately in a tough spot. So yeah, Georgios here to play, here to go for it. That's kind of the vibe that I got from Georgios, but overly aggressive. But that's not bad. That's not bad in poker. There, I think, yeah, he opened 3.5 bigs. I just have to fold 6-3 suited. Kind of annoying. But ICM, he's the big chip leader. I'm like basically battling it out with Medi, trying to not get into marginal spots. I'm looking at the stacks when I look at the screen over here, just so I can see exact stacks. It's nice to see if the camera's on other people too, to watch the body language. But yeah, I free bet. Don't know, is the size in right there? No, I think that they got my size in wrong here. I definitely free bet a lot bigger than that. But yeah, ace four suited. If he four bet, maybe I would have five bet jammed. I'm raising bigger because I'm raising into the chip leader. He's going to call pretty wide. King five off. I think he is a really good free bet candidate. I check back. I don't want to bet as much against the chip leader. And ace king four mono is a board where I could definitely, I want to play a bit more passively with a lot of my good hands even. I think I decided I was going to bluff the river, going for like the double delay, but he doesn't let me. So if he check called the river, he would have won this hand. I mean, I've actually thought about bluff raising the river as played because I was like, where do I pull my bluffs from in this line to check down to the river? I think I could have Queen Jack of diamonds to go for like the double check, or I could have Ace two that rivers two pair, or I could have like ace queen, which now thinks it's the like it's kind of like playing cautious or like ace nine, but then versus his river size, he bets like quarter pot that now thinks I've got the best hand. So yeah, I thought about bluff raising my hand, but it's a complicated line to think about. I don't know if he would have believed me. Tens, go for the small bet. I think he check raises me here. So he's got free to a wheel. He's got free to a flush. He unblocks all my like king, queen, jack 10 offsuit, which is going to bet fold. I think he wants a little bit more connectivity though. You can have a direct gut shot. You can have a two. You can have like six, eight of clubs, eight, nine of clubs. I think yeah, nine four. It's pulling from a little bit too wide. But yeah, he was overly aggressive, and if I'm overfolding, I'm overfolding. Tens is obviously just going to call. Uh, yeah, I'm not going to check the bluffs on that board, even though I'm interested to, just because I want to get through more hands. But if you check it and find out, let me know, because I reckon it's just going to be kind of random hands. Georgios gives up the turn, which is fair. Like the king really doesn't hit him at all. Doesn't even give anyone a flush draw. Like I've always connected with the board. Uh, yeah, he just gives up. Whether he should then reopen on the river, maybe. Maybe he should bluff the river, but nice he didn't put me in a tough spot there. That's an interesting spot. Ace two off. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is a mix of call and free bet. I don't think we ever fold, especially with an ante full ante. I've gone for the free bet. Spot for 8-6 suited now. But you can see that is as much as he's chip leader and I have to, subvert. I have to play passive. I have to overfold. Not want to play as many big pots. You can see my stack is still a big like he doesn't want to play all in against me either because he likes the things how the way they are. So if I free bet here, it's almost like from his point of view, oh shit's getting real. Like I don't want to lose a huge pot and like lose my spot because he's got a hand where it's a reasonable hand. Maybe he wants to play, but then he's out of position with a suited connector, and like suddenly he calls the flop or folds the turn or lose a medium pot, and now suddenly we've got the same stack. So you can see like as much as like chip leaders have power, it's like what's that quote from Game of Thrones? Power resides where people believe it does. Like it's he's still got a feeling in this spot. When the pots are small, he's like, yeah, I'll do what I want. I'm going to raise. I'm going to do this. What are you going to do? But as soon as the pot gets big and suddenly he can lose his position, like it can fall apart. So I think that's you do still have to go after chip leaders. You just have to do it in smart ways. But it isn't just I'm going to fold absolutely everything. Um, you still got to pick your spots. I fold Jack 8 off in the button there. Yeah, I think I'd open Jack 9. But yeah, this is an example of ICM. Like I have to play a bit tighter. My range on they're going to attack me more, or at least the big blind is. So I have to bolster my range to make up for that. It's like I call Ace 8 off and he checks. Uh, he should probably check or bet. He checks. Oh, this was a nice hand for me if I remember. So it's just got limp check. No, yeah, he should probably, again, mix bet and check on the turn, probably lean towards check. And that river the 8. So I get a nice clean big street of value here. I think I should bet at least two-thirds pot. Yeah, and he just snap calls because he's got a pair and he just beats all the bluffs. That was a nice way to create some separation between me and Medi, river in that 8. Oh, this was a sick hand. I think this was one of the best hands I played in the tournament. Already looking at this pre-flop, our stacks are getting closer together. He can still pressure me a lot, but like I was saying, he really doesn't want me to win a medium pot against him because then suddenly we're on the same stack. A6 off, I think that's a hand I can call. I can free bet. A free bet bluff seems reasonable, but I did free bet him last time, and like metagame's always a thing. Is he expecting it more? Is he going to counter it more? So I think yeah, I call this time. I think I can go either way. And I did, I'm not going to say what it is, but I did have a slight, at least what I believe was a live read on Georgios of when he was not as strong. I can't say that with 100% confidence, but it was enough to influence me at least slightly in some spots. I'm not going to say what it is, but I realize I sound like Charlie Corral right now. But it's just something about his body language where I was like, okay, when he does that, I feel like he is, let's say, really thinking as opposed to, pretending to think and just leaving pauses. And if you're really thinking, that means you don't have the nuts because, you have, or like, you don't, there's some parts of your range you just don't have when you're genuinely thinking. Um, I think he should bet the flop when he has 10 high and like some backdoor straight draws and a heart and a club. There's a heart and a club on the board. He has good barrels. So now on the turn, when he suddenly starts to bet and he goes two thirds, sure, he can have a nine. He can have a nine that check back. Maybe at this point he could have an eight, although an eight's getting a little bit thin. He could probably have ace eight. But other than that, he's basically saying he's got a nine or an overpair that check the flop or like a trap. And I've got a six, so I block six, seven. I have an ace, so I block ace eight. I have the ace of spades, which I guess, I mean, maybe ace two of spades is a hand he might play this way. But yeah, not flush draws he could probably check again with. But yeah, I have ace high, and I could just see all of the queen jack, queen 10, jack 10, a random, 10 7, a random 10 6, a random jack 7. Like, I just beat, in my opinion, so many bluffs, and it's blind v blind. Um, and I have the ace of spades, which is a meaningful bluff card potentially on the river. And now the river pair's the 8. So I'm like, man, like, I was worried about exactly ace 8, which is now blocked. Maybe a hand like pocket 8s, the random 8 5, 8 4. Like, so his value is blocked by this river. A 9 is now not as confident to bet the river. So he had 9 2 suited that checked the flop and then was like, okay, I've got a good hand, I'm going to go for value. And now he's suddenly like, oh, that's a bad river. It looks like Brandon has an 8 here a lot because he checked back the flop and called the turn. Um, so already I'm thinking this is like a much better card for me, a card that he shouldn't be as happy with his value. Like, sure, he can still bet. If he has like an overpair or a decent 9, like 10-9, he can probably still bet somewhere between a third, maybe two thirds, in my opinion. Um, yeah, this is when I felt like he was genuinely thinking the river, and his hand was then more polar. He did like a big splashy bet. He bet 650, and the bet size he chose, and bearing in mind I already think he's overly aggressive. The bet size he chose led me to believe that he's over bluffing. And then it's which hands is he going to take? I don't think he's going to bluff with a better hand than mine. I don't think he's going to bluff with a pair or ace high. So yeah, I just really thought if he has 10-7, 10-6, Jack 7, Queen 10, Queen Jack, like Queen Jack, there's like loads of hands with just equity. Maybe a random 10-2 of spades that just didn't bet the flop. Wherever all these hands are, I just don't think he's going to give up. I just don't think he's the type of player that will just get to the river with 10 high and not and give it up. And you have to give up those hands sometimes, especially on a river like this. Sure, he can still have ace 8. He can still have pocket 10s that was going for a flop check raise. He can still have pocket aces. I have an ace. Or like, the random 8 5. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible he has value here, but if you just count the combos and you give me the price of you bet less than pot, but you bet the price where your value now probably starts at a hand that bets the flop a lot, like a hand like pocket 10s. I don't know. So I just didn't, honestly, I just didn't buy it straight away. I couldn't necessarily give you a perfect science in why, but before I didn't use a time bank here because I just was really like, it doesn't feel like value. Um, so I called with ace high, which I was pretty proud of, to be right at least. I mean, because as much as like, I have good reasoning for what I did there, and I'm glad that I was right, but sometimes you are still wrong. And like, if I was wrong, that's such a shift in momentum. It would have felt horrible. I would have not only lost a pretty big pot, but I mean, I think I took Chipley with that pot too. Yeah, so that was like a paradigm shift as well for me to win that hand. But yeah, if I lose that, not only am I losing all the pots, but like you lose your confidence because you're like, like I had a read. Maybe I just punted it, and then you're playing free-handed, so it's like thick and fast to be right back in the mix. So you need a way to compose yourself if you get those spots wrong, which is going to happen sometimes. This is just limp check. I have queen nine. I guess I'm check calling queen high and a gut shot. And then the turn I have to check fold as played. I could have bet the flop too. Love the call. He also has to perceive you to stab a lot to go for the check raise. Yeah, it's true. And because he's chip leader, like I'm mainly going to be playing passive there. So I think hand like tens over pairs, they mainly bet themselves. So he's very polar on the river. A fold 6-7 on the button. I think that's an open. We're playing with full ante. I'm now chip leader. I mean, it's Whatever, whatever. I think it's just about an open, but against two good players, two people that are playing aggressive, sure, folding's definitely fine. King eight's probably a better open, but when you're deeper, it's nice to, hit some straights. I think I free bet. Yeah, king five off is such a magical hand. Blocks ace five suited. So it looks like I just free bet. And Mehdi doesn't even consider four bet in the a6. I think you could consider four bet in a6 here because my range is so polar. If you look at the stack depth, we're playing just over 40 bigs. And again, remember, like if I get it all in against Mehdi and double him up, he's chip leader and I'm short stack. Not what I want to happen. I think like Jacks is probably my worst value here. Like even Ace Queen suited and pocket Jacks is roughly where I'm thinking to get it in for value. So and like my bluffs are not really equity driven. They're hands like this. So A6 could definitely consider clicking it back as a four bet, but he didn't this time for whatever reason. Maybe he has a randomizer he already chose. Maybe he's just never four bet in that spot. Maybe like he would choose a different candidate to bluff. It's hard to say. 8-4. I think I should be playing this because it's full ante. So yeah, call seems fine. And I should probably bet one big blind because I've got the eight of hearts. The four of clubs is kind of nice too. Block hands like king four of clubs that are going to float. And he calls jack six of spades. I think his call's too loose here, to be honest. Yeah, like jack six of clubs, sure. Jack six of, or like jack nine off, sure. I think jack six of spades too loose. And then yeah, I've got a heart, no showdown. I'm barreling now to try and make him fold like his floats, which to me is going to be jack 10, jack 9, maybe king 9 when he doesn't have a heart in his hand. And yeah, I probably shouldn't always barrel my hand to be honest, but if I knew he was calling this, I would. Even though I didn't know he was calling this, I should probably bet this hand sometimes. And now he has to fold. Make him fold ace highs, king highs, jack highs when he doesn't have a flush draw. Nice way to realize my equity too, because if I check and face a bet, pretty awkward. This one was I open pre with my a7 suited. Seems fine. Could definitely limp as well. And then I just check folded the flop. Seems fine. I think it's a nice hand for him to bet. I think he sizes up too. Yeah, nice hand from him. Georgios free bets ace jack, so he's willing to get ace jack in for like 30 bigs blind v blind there, which seems reasonable. Uh, and now he's getting it in with sevens. Yeah, I think he should probably call here. Still a little bit deep. I know the blinds have gone up, sorry. He's like um 28 bigs. It's probably fine to free bet call sevens here, but it's a bit loose. You could just call. You get clearance from a hand like queen 10 off. That's a nice perk. And now me and Georgios have got the same stack. Now I open with the queen four off. Big little. He has to overfold a little bit, even though he's playing close to the chippy V, but he still has to be on slightly the side of caution. And I think I just check fold this flop. Eight's on the button. Oh, this is a sick hand. I mean, I've reviewed this one before, but I'll gladly talk about this one again. Uh, yeah, Medi has a stack he could jam. I'm opening relatively wide. There's a big ante. He's playing 1.4, which is 28.4 big blinds. He could just rip with some hands. In fact, pocket nines I think is an exact hand he should probably rip. But yeah, free bet call. I've got him on like tens plus, ace jack suited, that sort of range. His free bet size is quite small here. I'm not saying that doesn't mean it's balanced and that's his only size, but I don't think he's free bet calling sevens, even though he's just saw George Joss was willing to do it for similar stack. Um, And I think the bluffs are usually like, king five suited, ace four suited. Maybe some hands where it's kind of a flip, like king jack offsuit. But I just didn't. I thought if I jam here with my pocket eights, when I run into it or when I lose the big flip, it's just horrible because now it's like George Os's chip lead again. Or Mehdi and George Os have the chip. I'm almost like swapping positions with Mehdi, right? That's really not what I want to do here. Um, and I think eights is probably a mix in theory. You can be lazy and just be like, it's 30 bigs, whatever, run it with eights, and it can never be that bad. But I've got position. He's given me a nice price. That's more incentive to call. And I think eights is already a mix. Like I would rather jam pocket twos because what's pocket twos can't play while post flop. It clears a lot more over cards, like ace five suited being folded is a lot better for that hand. Or like, random jack 10. I mean, I guess jack 10, I want to make fold with this hand too. But like king six suited, this hand's where I play better against it. So yeah, I'm not saying I would have jammed with twos, but I might have jammed here with like pocket fives or pocket sixes because it just achieves more. So it wasn't that I was like, yeah, he's definitely got something good, but I just thought my eights, it can go either way. If I call, lose a medium pot, it's Medi's still the short stack. Ace ace four, so yeah, he bets tiny, nothing but call from my hand here, in my opinion. Don't Yeah, I think we're too shallow to raise to try and make him clear random cards. I'm just like call, like hoping no more money goes in this pot. The king on the turn's horrible because now he gets there when he's got a suited king. He gets there with king queen and king jack. If he has a hand like ace king, he probably wants to trap a lot. Pocket kings, maybe barrels, not really sure. But yeah, this was the point when so Medi checks the turn, and now I'm like, man, my eights really don't feel like they've got any showdown anymore. And what hands do I get here with? So I would call with like Jack 10 suited pre. I would call with a lot of suited broadways. I call with a lot of suited aces. Some of them I would jam. So I have trips here a lot. I have flush draws a lot. Maybe a hand like King of Spades Queen, for example, like a King Queen off with a backdoor flush draw. Uh, I think I'll probably just get it in when I have say like tens. Maybe I could have pocket nines myself and like sixes. Sixes I probably jam pre a lot. Pocket fives, maybe I jam pre. Maybe I even fold pre sometimes. But yeah, eights just don't feel like they're doing that great here. But yeah, check. And out on the river, pocket fives becomes a boat. All of my king, queen, king, jack, king 10, king 9 of spades becomes a flush. Queen, jack of spades, jack 10 of spades, queen 9 of spades, maybe 10, 9 of spades, maybe 6, 7 of spades, probably not. But like mostly it's high spades, but yeah, they're all still there. My ace X is going to check back the turn a lot for pot control. So I have, ace 6 of ace 7 suited, ace 8 suited, ace 9 suited, maybe ace 10 offsuit, maybe ace jack if I want to pot control the turn as well. I can also have the king queen I spoke about, king of spades queen. There's still a few combos of that. So I have loads of really good hands. Yeah, I don't have a spade blocker, but what sort of range do I put him on? So if he bets the river, I'm obligated to just fold this hand, in my opinion. I don't think I can do anything else. But he checks the river. So already I've determined that I can have a lot of good hands here, and eights doesn't really have any showdown. And there's a very specific group of hands that I can try and make fold by betting the river, and that is his pocket nines, pocket tens, pocket jacks, pocket queens, and how many combos of each of those. I mean, nines I wasn't thinking as much, to be honest, for that jam pre. But even just tens, jacks, and queens, the 6 combos of each, that's 18 combos. That's a reasonable amount of hands to make fold when the ranges are so narrow. And maybe, what if he has king 7 of diamonds? Maybe he even folds that on the river because he has to think where my bluffs are coming from. And if he has king 7 of diamonds, he needs me to bet a hand that isn't, ace X or a flush or king queen enough of the time to make that a call. It's not just, I've got a king, I have to call. He still has to think, well, where are my bluffs coming from? And maybe queen jack of hearts. But other than that, I have to kind of pull bluffs from pocket eights or pocket sevens, or otherwise I just don't have any bluffs here. So I think I determined pretty fast that eights just needs the bluff, and I actually did kind of feel like I was putting him on tens, jacks, or queens pretty heavily, which maybe I was too one trap minded in that. And sometimes here he just has ace king, or he just has king jack and snaps on the river because he thinks he's too high up in his range, and maybe I look silly, or he's just trapping. Like maybe he jams on me, and I'm like, I've put my foot in it here. And to be fair to him, his nines with a spade, the 9 of spades is relevant blocker. Um, and he did tank. He did tank. I don't know how many time banks he used on the river, but he was like, in a tough spot. So fair play to him. I think a lot of people would have snap folded. But yeah, that one felt good. That was one of the nicest feelings I've had because I feel like a younger me wouldn't have found that bluff with pocket eight. Maybe I would have jammed pre and then I would have doubled him up, um, or maybe I would have just not bluffed the river because I would have been like, I've got fake showdown. Like, I've like trying to come up with reasons to not like put him on a random like queen five suited or so. I don't know. Like, I can't think of a good reason that this hand has showdown. But obviously you don't have to bluff every time you don't have showdown. Um, but yeah, recognizing it's fake showdown and that my opponent can put me on a value range when there's like infinite value bets I could have here. Um, and that my opponent is good enough to fold, and that yeah, he has enough hands which are semi-easy folds in my opinion. Like if he did have queens with a spade, maybe he would have called for all I know. Maybe he would have thought I'm overbluffing this spot with the exact hands I've got. I'm not sure. Uh, but it worked out this time, so I'm very glad. Like in a vacuum, who knows if that was actually the best play, given how we both play our ranges. Like in practice, it was good. Um, but yeah, I'm happy that I found it. You don't have to find bluffs in every spot, but I think it was important to in that specific spot. Uh, Big ante, got a peel here. In position, covering Georgios only by a little bit. Flopping two pair. Probably going to start with a small bet. Yeah, as a standard call with tens. I think, yeah, he could have limped with the tens pre. Doesn't really want to get tens pre in at this stage with Medi stack. Maybe he does actually. He's pretty loose. I check the turn here with like top and third pair because there's just a lot of awkward rivers. So if I bet the turn, the river could be a queen, a nine, a ten, a seven, a heart. All of those are like action killers for my hand. Whereas if it goes check check, I can just bomb a river, or like at least like snap call if he bets medium, or like even the four hearts if he checks the river. I have such a clean value bet. I think it's easier to rep bluffs if you go bet check bet. I mean the line I've taken is more suited for probably just a jack, but uh, so maybe I should have bet the turn here. Not 100%, but I can see why I've mixed in a check, and I can just go like B two thirds here, be greedy. And he has such a good bluff catcher. Maybe he should think about bluff raising the river with the because he's got ten of hearts and two tens. But now we're starting to run away with it after winning that hand. Now, funnily enough, look, I literally get eights against nines again. How quickly after free-handed again, and I could have free bet. I could have just jammed here, like 40 bigs. I think that would be a bit of a punt because he's not calling with sevens. I could free bet and then like look to get my hand in because Georgios is aggressive, but I like things the way they are. I don't want to create a change the dynamics. I'm just gonna raise and take, free bet take, check raise take, check call take, whatever. Like I just want to do small jabs. I don't want to change the dynamic anymore. I get to play loose, so yeah, I'm just calling. I'm pretty content just to call. If we were like, if they both had 20 bigs, I would just always jam my eights here, and there's nothing else I can do. But yeah, maybe like 20 to 30 is the range where maybe I mix jam and free bet calls, and then more than 30 is where I'm now thinking I don't really want to get eights in. And already it's a tricky spot on the flop. He sizes up, which is, mm, I mean, this is a sort of board you can size up, but then ICM is going to bring it down a bit. But yeah, it's against a small blind that maybe brings it up a little bit. But there's so much ICM pressure on him. Like if he's got queens here, he's a little bit deep to be playing a huge pot. So I think he could mix checks with his hand. He could bet size up a bit. Maybe I'd go to B40 sometimes. But the exact hand he's got is so strong, I probably wouldn't bet so big. Because yeah, he actually lets me get away with eights on the flop, which is a hand that's really far behind. I felt like that flop spot was close, but his sizing let me get away. He bet like 55% pot. If he bet a third or less, I think I would have called one. Medi opens the small blind with Jack 7 and gets mega coolered. Second pair against top pair. Georgios checks the flop. Now Georgios should be trying to stack him, I think. Just going like bet turn to jam river. Because Medi's just going to have like pocket queens pocket jacks, pocket tens, or like ace highs that build. I think you should just be going for stacks once you check the flop. He's just gonna go for a big river bet, which bet he has to snap call as played, I guess. I mean, kind of tricky spot on the river. Mm, I think I should check with my ace five here because we're like 50 bigs deep. But looking at Medi stack, maybe there's a chance I've got bad intentions. It probably wouldn't be too crazy to even just set him in there, but yeah. I think George just makes a good fold here. He checks turn. I think my ace five's good. Bet for protection and value, and I think he gets away, which is a nice hand. He probably should check the flop, 7-7-5, but I think he lost the minimum. I just put Medi in here with queen free suited. He finds ace king, and he gets the double. Yeah. So funnily, going back to that other hand, like Medi does find a free bet bluff here, and he's playing 19 blinds. Yes, plus he's small blind, 19 and a half blinds, and he finds the free bet non all in. He makes it five bigs over my two bigs, which is good, right? He's going after, like, I'm opening the button here so wide. Um, he should probably have jams. I don't think he really wants to have any calls, but maybe some precise hands. And like King Six suited feels like free bet fold. I think free bet fold feels nice with this hand. Um, but yeah, if I double Medi up here again, I'm losing my spot, right? So I think that's a reasonable hand to do it with, and that proves that he's got not just really strong hands when he free bets in the on the smaller side out of position versus the button. 7-6 is probably going to be a call. Hmm, guess I'd check. Yeah, Georgia should probably mix check and bet. I think I'd lean check. You don't want to make the pot bigger out of position with an okay hand. And I think I should mix the turn. I should probably just bet the turn with my hand, to be honest, because there's so many bad rivers. But now, once he checks the river, I think I just feel like I've got the best hand. Like, why would he not bet if he had a better hand? He feels like he has a two, a three, a five, a six, and I just always win if that's the case. I do block what I want to be called by, and I can also have better hands. But I can have any like 7-8-9 combos. I can be perceived to float the flop with like Queen Jack. So yeah, I think I should just bet like half pot or something for value. I went B40, but on the smaller side, I think I could probably size up to be honest. But he calls a mux, but he did have a six, which is a bit of a cooler for the amount that went in. Uh, 15-minute break. Go to 27. Those two are battling. Yeah, King 7, again, big blind bluff candidate potentially. George just got a free bet here, but he did not. Oh, this was a really interesting hand. I remember this hand. So yeah, my ace 4, I'm pretty happy to bet most of my hands here. Queen 2, 3, because the big blind doesn't really have any two pairs. He's folding Queen 3 off pre. Uh, even like 2, 3 off, he's folding pre. 2, 3 suited, maybe he's folding pre. And yeah, I have free to a straight, I have an over, I have free to like I just have a really good hand where I'm just if he raises, I'm not folding. And then he has King of Hearts is an over and a backdoor second nut flush draw, so a candidate where he could call, could raise, maybe an ICM he could fold. It's kind of ropey. You'd rather have like King 5 or King 4, just so you have that little bit more equity. And it's like a more of an unblocker effect because I'm gonna say have 7, 7, 8 offsuit, 7-9 offsuit, maybe 10-7 offsuit, like these expansions. But if he has a 5 in his hand instead, he's not going to interact as many offsuit hands that I bet fold the flop. So that's the unblocker concept. But yeah, Georgios usually overly aggressive. Not surprised to see him raise. My hand, I think, goes either way here between call and free bet. I think I'd like to see myself call, to be honest, because if the turns are heart, I still play. If the turns an ace, turns a 5. A lot of kind of good things can happen. Is that what I do? Oh yeah, I remember why I tried to free bet the flop, but I verbalized the wrong number. I think I tried to style it out as well. I don't know if Georgios noticed, but my intention in game was to free bet. Now looking back, I'm glad that I called because that's what I'd like to see myself do. But yeah, I remember I think I tried to click it back, but I just said the wrong number that meant it was less than. I can't. I just basically verbally misclicked and it was forced to be a call because I saw there was like 1 second left on the timer and kind of just blurted out the wrong number. Uh, and again, like I remember feeling like I had the read in this hand that he was light, and I felt pretty confident about that. So on the turn, I remember thinking I've got the best hand, but is there a chance he's bluffing with like a 2 or a 3? Like that was my concern. And out on the river, if he had 4-5, 5-6, 4-6, he bricks and he's got nothing. But I do have a 4. It's a bluff blocker. Um, so I remember thinking like if he bets the river, do I need to jam to make him fold? But it's a weird line he's taken. Maybe he's supposed to have a queen sometimes, but in ICM you don't really want to check raise queen X very often. So I remember thinking on the river, I think I've got the best hand. If he bets, I'm probably going to call before he did anything. I think he used the time bank. And I'd already decided, like, you know what, he's thinking about bluffing. I'm just going to call him. But then I guess there's a worry, like, what if he has like ace 10 with the 10 of hearts as a bluff or something? But I didn't get a chance to think about that because he checked the river. And then when he checked, I was like, man, what if he does just have a free? What if he does have ace jack with a jack of hearts, like a hand that check raised the flop as a bluff, and now like I might lose to. So I just put him all in on the river. But genuinely, if he jammed this river, I remember thinking I'm planning to call. I just felt like I got the read. He was thinking about bluffing. Um, and then I was like, I feel like I'm gonna win, but just in case. Like, what if he has ace 5? Imagine if he has like ace 5 of diamonds here and his ace 5 high plays. That would be so painful. So if I had like ace jack, I would probably just check, thinking there's nothing, any clearance from. Or if I had ace king, but yeah, I really felt like I had the best hand and was like, I think straight away when I jammed the river and he folded, I was like, I've just bluffed with the best hand, like straight away. And he was like, what did you have? I said ace high, and he was really tilted. So I think he assumes that I would have folded if he jammed, but I was not folding. ISO in 8-4 off versus a limp seems fine. Queen 3 off is like a hand he probably could give me a walk with. Looks like I'm just open jamming 8-6 suited for yeah. Medi's like under more pressure now, so I think he has like 27 bigs. It's a bit of a big jam, but you know I'm picking up 2.5 bigs. He just has to call really tight. I think I'm just choosing the hand properties to be honest. Like raised, non all in or limp, fine options as well. Jam 26 bigs. It's a little bit high variance. I wouldn't recommend this against if it was too like if I thought I had a huge edge against these guys, I wouldn't be taking these big jams as much. Min raise the king 5 off. Could open jam the king 5 off as well, I think. Especially if they're gonna jam on me when I'm opening correctly and or maybe wide, then I kind of want to jam more to stop them doing that. They just give me a walk. No, that's the next hand. I've just bloody misclicked back to the start. Where were we? Somewhere around here. Oh, perfect. Look at sixes. Now it's like, do I induce or do I just jam? Because I want to give him the opportunity to jam on me with twos through to fives or ace 2 to ace 5. So I think I could induce, I could raise call, I could limp, or I could put him in. Yeah, disaster. I mean, I think there's nothing I can do to get away from this spot because if I limp and he raises, I'm probably going to limp jam. If I raise any free bets, I'm probably going to jam. If I raise any jams, I'm going to call. I think it's just I have to get this hand in once you're against someone who is good. And very unfortunately, Medi doubles through me to now bring the stacks much closer together, which is a big shame. Hmm. It's kind of a tricky spot. I think I decided George Joss is going to be playing closer chip EV now. He's going to play pretty loose. So I think I decided I'll free bet my ace 10 and call it off. He can put me on bluffs, he can bluff jam, or he can just run it with like, pocket eights or king queen and hands where I'm doing well. But a call with ace 10 is probably reasonable there as well. Definitely too much of a hand to fold. Raise, fold, queen jack, yep. You can see with the stacks now, like me and Medi have to kind of be careful against each other, and Georgios gets to kind of do what he wants. Like, he's got nothing to lose now. This went limp jack, jack, jack. I guess I just value bet the river and he folds. This I was pained over this hand, even though this is such like a small hand. I think was he like ordering food at the same time or something? Yeah, it was just limp check, check to the river. I've got like the nut nothing ace queen high, and then he value bets his four on the river, and actually I made a good fold here, but I was so close to calling. Tricky spot when you've got a bluff catcher and the ranges are wide. Just trying to figure out the right hands to call with. It might be that it's a bad fold in a vacuum though with ace queen, to be honest. Mhm. That seems too tight to me. Medi folding ace nine in the small blind. I might be wrong, but we're both similar stacks. I mean, this isn't going to be perfect because the ante structure is different here. We have a massive ante, where it's like two 50 big blind stacks and then a short stack. So something like this, maybe 49, 40. Not perfect, but I mean it's folding here, so maybe I'm just off here. I know so the ante here is only uh, there's 1.8 eight bigs in the middle, so it's like there's a lot more chips in the middle. And that's kind of one of the annoying things with live that they put full big blind ante and then when you play heads up they get rid of it, which obviously changes ranges a lot when there's a whole another big blind in the middle. But in this case, instead there'll be two and a half bigs, so the pot would be it's 1.88, approximately 1.9, so it's like what 40% more, 35% more in the pot, which obviously is much more incentive for me to play wider, and then it's more incentive for him to play wider, and for him to have he's getting a better price, so to have more calls. So yeah, I'm guessing ace nine wouldn't fold if I really had to guess, but it's never going to be worth that much. Ace ten is just never going to fold in a big blind anti structure. Um, but whether it calls or free bets more, I'm not sure. The ace blocker, given the ace eight free bets, is probably one that you're gonna free bet at least sometimes. And that's to a huge size, right? Yeah, from 2 to 10. And it's because I don't play many calls, so yeah, that's why it's just using blocker oriented hands. And the nine's kind of a bad card to have. He wants me to have a nine because I'll raise fold with it. Uh, this was kind of a boring hand. All right, river to chop. Well played, me. Not much going on there. I think I had a four here. I think I had like ace four, but yeah, he could have check raised the flop. Ace three of diamonds there. Yeah, it was when I doubled Medi up for the second time. I was like, man, I really why won't this guy die? Like I'm trying, just grind them down a little bit more. It's my tournament, but every time you double them up, it's like yeah, such a setback. I think they moved the screen away as I actually did. I did a huge open jam though. I think that's the only one of these that I took. So here, Medi's playing 32.5 bigs. Georgios is playing what 20 to a 9, 18 point something bigs. I just open jam king four off here because I thought it was that. The king is good. It's a good blocker. I'm on the fence between like wanting to open or not. They're playing good post flop. They're going to free bet me a lot. If I jam, it's like, well, what are you going to do about it now? You're just both going to overfold. Uh, but let's see. Maybe I can find one where small blind. I mean, again, the anti structure is not as big here, so it's not going to be perfect sims. But we want to find something like this. So yeah, chip lead. I mean, I'm not as big of a chip leader, but let's just see if the button plays open jams here. And yeah, not using king four off in this case. It's using ace x offsuit, suited medium strength stuff, some random offsuit weaker stuff, pocket twos. So yeah, just having a big open jam. How many bigs does Medi have here? Just over 30. Yeah, we're at 80k big blind now. So yeah, my jam I guess was slightly bigger because he had just over 30 and he had like 18. But you know the ante is big. Don't think there's gonna be one that is necessarily better. Maybe this one. Again, this one is versus more. 74 plays 34 at 12. Uh, yep, still some jams. King 4 off, just fold in. Yeah, it looks like I just need an ace instead if I'm going to take a big jam if I had to guess looking at this. Uh, the fact that there's a lot more in the pot means King 4 is, I think, going to be an open, but just for some reason doesn't go with the jam in this case. Nice to show people that like you're going to do that sort of thing too. Like that's in the arsenal. I think I'm going to call a Georgios very soon. There's a 71-32-12 sim. Good spot, Shademaster 69. I think she won't call King Queen suited anyway for 30 plus. So an ace blocks much more calls. Yeah, ace is very important. 71-32-16. You lied to me, Shademaster. You lied to me. Unless maybe you're looking at 200 players if you're looking at it yourself rather than stuff on the screen. Uh, man, there's so many sims here. 79-24-17. 74-29-17. 69-34-17. Hmm. I mean, we're never going to get it perfect. The jams are just going to be reduced as you're risking more. Uh, some sort of hands that seem to like it the most seem to stay. I guess like this got bumped up to king queen off. It's kind of random. Like if you're in game, it's hard to brain solve these things. So my logic was like it's a hand I want to play, which I'm confident. Yeah, look, the king four off raise is indifferent here when there's not an extra point six two big blinds in the middle. So to me, king four off's definitely going to be an open. I was just like, man, I'm not going to make much when I open this, so I'll just throw all the chips in because like, I know that's a play that you do sometimes, and these guys know to fold. So when you jam here, uh, 200 player sim. Yeah, I was thinking it must be the 200 player sim instead. Uh, I'm not going to bore into this too much more. Yeah, I think they just do different big blind stat distributions when it's the other one. I mean, as was cl it's closer to 200 player field. Um, this tournament was, but yeah, the fact that it doesn't have the big blind ante is going to be the main thing that changes things. But yeah, like the small blind's supposed to fold ace king. Maybe Medi doesn't, so maybe that's actually a reason that I shouldn't jam as much. He's supposed to fold nines. I'm not sure if he folds nines. And the big blind is supposed to call pretty wide. So I think the big blind's going to overfold, if I had to guess. Big blind folding like pocket fives, in my opinion. So yeah, probably works out fine. You know, you don't. I definitely just don't recommend the huge jams in big ICM spots if you have edge on your opponent, like very clear edge where every hand you're like, what are these guys doing? Like I'm crushing them. But I thought these guys were good, so I still didn't need to do it. I could have min raised or folded the king four. You know, if that hand went wrong, I'd definitely remember it. Glad no one found a good hand. Yeah, I've seen solves where there's like 60 big blind open jams at final tables and people are supposed to fold kings. We all ordered food at the same time and we all started eating at the same time, which is hard free-handed. Pretty funny now I think about it that we did that. We all just we're like, yeah, we're not having dinner break. We'll just play and eat. George Josh open jams nines. I think nines is too good with this distribution. Like he should invite more variance. If he jams, I'm folding like pocket fours. He doesn't want that. He wants me to jam on him and have like king two off in my range. So I think he should either limp or open with the nines. Not that it would have made much difference here, I guess. I mean, I could have jammed on him with king seven if he limped, to be fair, but I probably would have checked. Yeah, this is how I got him. I jammed 10-9 suited, small blind versus open. But how many bigs effective? Like 30. Let's have a little look if I'm a big punter. Again, like big blind ante, as much as I'm repeating this over and over again, but it does make a big difference and it's not going to show here. So I want button to open off. He has like 17, 16 or 17 as the short stack. Uh, I mean, this isn't perfect, but this is a reasonable starting point. And 10-9 suited is a slam dunk fold when we only have 24 bigs and it's like a lot of our stack. So now what if we want the button to still be shallow, but we want to cover him by a lot. Again, this isn't going to be perfect. And now he just only really plays jams because he doesn't want to get jammed on. So ignore that sim. And so yeah, I want this one looks pretty reasonable. 17, 79, 24. I know I wasn't as big a chip lead, obviously, but you know I just want to cover them by a lot, and this guy to have a little bit more chips. And again, like the button should have some open jams. He'll have obviously more open jams in the big blind anti sim. And looks like my hand does not like to jam. It likes to call. I guess the blocker properties are just not good enough for this hand. Jack 10 suited it likes. And it does have some of this like make it 8 big blinds, which I guess is run it against one player and fold if the big blind jams. I wonder if we make it 8 and then the big blind jams and then the button folds. Yeah, then we can fold. So we can actually, yeah, even though we're getting a sick price. Yeah, if it goes jam, call, then yeah, we're going to fold even more. So we can free bet hands like tens to then get away sometimes if they both go all in. We also have a smaller free bet size. which makes a lot of sense here. So yeah, we do want to attack a lot, but it looks like there's just a lot more attacking with make it five big blinds. Mm, looks like I've hit the crossbar here. King 9 suited, Jack 10 suited, but not 10 9 suited. Uh, but do I think they overfold? Again, like big blind ante. I'm just going to keep saying that until until I forget about it again. Is the big blind fold in ace king? Probably not. Is the big blind fold in tens? Probably not. Might fold nines though. Could see him fold in nines. So yeah, big blind's going to call a little bit wider. The button sixes, maybe open jams, but yeah, that seems reasonable. Ace jack. Yeah, I think this is a reasonable response versus the button. So I don't think we're going to get the overfolds. So I guess it's probably going to get into at least a pure call with 10-9 suited because of the better price I'm getting. And then I don't know if it's ever going to get into a jam. At the moment, the difference is 0.01. If call becomes slightly profitable and jam becomes slightly profitable, it could just be that call is just better for this type of hand anyway. Um, but yeah, subtle difference. King 9 suited mixes all of them. King 8 is where it's like clearly this is not good enough hand to jam, so you free bet non all in. And this is where your hands are good enough to jam. So I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But yeah, it looks like there's a lot more make it five big blinds than I was probably imagining here. Even inducing as wide as sevens. And then you just need slightly better to be putting in a lot of chips. Yeah, Medi had more chips here as well, which is going to make me jam a little bit less, I guess. But you know, if you're going to drill a nine, you should go all in. And looks like we got a little break. And I'll try quick fire some of these. We're playing without a big blind ante. I start with a pretty big lead, but you know, Medi is good. So obviously I'm favorite to win because of the chips, but I think if we got even, I think I would say he could well be favorite. I don't have much heads up experience. I'm winging it. Maybe he's winging it too, but you know he's good at finding bluffs. He's good at finding aggression. 5-3 suited. I've gone for the raise. It's a hand that plays well if he limp calls and you know, fold out a lot of hands, fold out some 3x and 5x, which crushes me, or just anything's good for 5-3 suited if you make them fold. But yeah, it's a shame. Playing heads up without an ante it's a shame because you know it's you'd just rather have more reason to play hands. And going from free-handed full ante to no ante heads up is such a jump. He raises, I call with Jack 9. I thought this was close on the flop, whether I float with Jack 9, I didn't. 10 high board, I would float. Obviously, any like gut shots, any sort of that stuff, I'd always float. Mm, looks like I'm going for a limp strategy. I think I could definitely have some min raises. Like this might even be like a fold sometimes for all I know. 8-5. I don't got any heads up ranges that I could refer to. I don't want to get too in the weeds with heads up, but have I got uh, anything with no antes? This is with an ante, isn't it? 1.75. Yeah, it's all going to be with ante. So, but yeah, takeaway here is like there's literally no folds from this random 60 big blind one. Jeez. Yeah, antes really make a difference. So yeah, 8-5 off is a hand I guess you never get to fold, but some of these fringe hands are definitely going to become folds. Uh, but if you're playing against someone you think you got an edge at, like you know, try to get away with limping all the bottom hands if they're not raising enough. It's hard to raise enough. Uh, I don't think you'd fold suited hands. Looks like I've just decided 9-2 suited is you know, it's a suited hand that doesn't do much for me. I want to play it, so I mean, it's not free betting in any of these ranges. Oh, that is a It's mixed in two sizes, 7.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go out a limb and say like everything is just it's like blind v blind, right? Like there's just stuff all over the place, like bit of this, bit of these random hands over here. Like there isn't gonna be a very clean right answer. Over the, if someone limps too wide and doesn't fight back, like there's random big raises you can throw in there, random like you can go 4x, you can go 3x, you can go for I mean not jam 60 bigs, but I know you can jam a lot of bigs versus a limp if someone's not limping a balance range. So I reckon we stray away from the Sims and we just go with what makes sense. Ace King, I think I could limp or I could raise. 10-9 is going to be a pure call. Flop, I think I could bet or check. Don't mind either. Turn, he should probably start bluffing because he's got a heart. And I think I should always call with my Ace King high. And now he drills the 9. He should just value bet the river somewhere between B25 and B60. He goes like bet third, and then I have a tough spot with my Ace King high. I keep getting these spots against him, don't I? Like, I remember I found the fold with the Ace Queen high earlier, and I think I folded this one, but it's a tough spot. I guess seven. The good thing for the 9, I mean, for me getting away, the river's a 10, it'd be a lot harder to fold. But now like 9-8 and 9-7 become a value bet. 7-8 becomes a value bet. But I know he's good. Like I wouldn't have thought about calling with ace high here against many people, but like he's gonna find around. I mean, there is still 7-3, 7-4, and like random 3x and 4x. There's a lot of like equity bluffs too, but he might find like a random Jack 7. If he's betting 10-9 on the turn, he might just bet Jack 7 with a heart and then always bluff the river. So tough spot for ace king on the river against someone that's actually finding bluffs. Pretty easy fold against a lot of players. Get me a good price. Uh, Boring hand. Oh, this hand was so annoying. This hand was so annoying. This was so bad for momentum. So I raise, he calls a jack four of diamonds. That seems pretty reasonable. And I'm going to probably mix bet and check. I think betting with a7 of clubs is fine because I can call a raise. Um, Maybe he raises some mergy stuff, but I've got an over, backdoor, and a flush draw, ace high. Would you ever bet 25 on the flop for value versus worse, ace or king X, or do you think he's check raising flop enough? I mean, I could call a raise with ace king on that flop, so I think it's just important that you don't always do something. Like bet sometimes, check sometimes. Maybe use this. Like if I have two suits, if I have like a backdoor flush draw, bet more because I've got more equity. Or if I have the ace king where I unblock all his backdoor flush draws, maybe bet and then call a check raise. Because then I can like value bet more versus his ace and king highs with backdoor flush draws. So you can have methods to bet or check some hands more, but I think as long as you're not just like I always bet ace king or I never bet ace king, then that's the most important. Uh, So yeah, my ace, he barrels the turn here, and I don't know if I like this barrel jack four of diamonds. That really like I think he wants to have a club or equity. Ace four, ace five, 4-5, 4-6, 6-5, turn flush draw, or he's gonna have a bluff. Jack four with the jack of clubs, or 10-8 with the ten of clubs. Like there's still plenty of bluffs he can find with one club at least, or just raw equity like a 4-5 of hearts. So yeah, I don't like him bluffing this hand, and the sizing's so cheap. What the flop check raise was from. Oh no, oh no, sorry, I've messed up. He called the flop. Ignore me. Ignore me. I remember being annoyed by the sound, but that's not why I was annoyed by the sound. So I think he could check raise this flop. It seems kind of close, but I bet on the smaller side. I bet like close to a third. I think call, raise, fold. It's probably kind of indifferent with Jack four of diamonds, and then the turn. I think that's probably why. I don't think that he should lead this turn very often because I'm not like I still have a lot of free X. Like I mean I guess I raise pre and I don't raise as often pre. Like I just he would check raise the flop with a 9 a lot of the time because I've seen bet small and ranges are really wide. He would check raise sometimes with a 3. He would he still has loads of floats here because he has hands like he's got. Look, he's got Jack four of diamonds. That shows how wide his range is, right? I think to lead the turn is to be a lot more condensed around hitting the board. So having a two, having a three, having a nine, having like more raw equity. But heads up, like I'm not range betting the flop for one. I can still have some free X. I'm like more dense around 9x and overpairs because I bet the flop and he didn't check raise. So I just don't in my head it doesn't make that much sense for him to lead here. And he did choose the small size, which is like I could have a two, I could have a nine, but I think he's just raising a nine a lot on the flop. So yeah, I thought I had the best hand here with ace high. There's definitely no reason for me to bluff raise my hand. And then this little shit, this little shit rivers his jack. That's a non-club jack. Like I've got him absolutely crushed on the turn. And yeah, then now obviously he just has an easy value bet, and I'm like, what the hell does this guy have? Does he really have a free? So I remember feeling good about my hand on the turn and not as good about my hand on the river, which is funny, given like the hand he's got, it makes sense, but how do you put him on this hand? Uh, yeah, like maybe Jack 8 with a Jack of clubs. Like, I know, I just don't like the turn lead from his hand class, and I don't necessarily like the turn lead from a range perspective. It's probably okay. And then I guess he could check or bet the river. But yeah, that was just annoying. And yeah, that's why I've cycled the river with ace high, 'cause I'm like, what the hell does this guy have? How does he have a jack? Um, Evened out the stacks, which is what you hate to see. I check back the flop here. Because we're deeper, I guess I've got like an okay top pair. I think, yeah, check's pretty reasonable. Try and do some bluffs. And if he goes check, check, clean turn, we can go for two streets. So I like to see a big bet. I've gone B40. I think I should bet bigger here, to be honest. I guess I'm saying like maybe I could bet ace high as well. Uh, oh, I remember this spot as well. I really wanted to value bet this river. No, sorry, I really wanted to value raise this river. And you might think this is crazy because this is a four straight river. He can have a straight. But when he check called the turn, I was it felt like he had a hand like he had. And if he had a seven on the river, I just didn't think he would choose this sizing. He's bet 145 into how much? 720. He's literally bet 20% pot. I just didn't think he would do that if he had a seven. I think he'd be greedier. He'd check raise or he'd bet bigger. So I literally in game I went, do you have a six? Because it really feels like you've got a6. So even though I called here because I was like, this feels razor thin for value. What if he's got 6-8? What if I'm just wrong and he just had like a four or like, I don't know, like what if he just I don't know he had some hand that I didn't expect. Like it feels I have to know he has a6 or king six or something to raise this river. But I literally went, do you bloody have a6 when I called the river? And that's why I'm tilted because I'm like, man, like you played it exactly like that hand and the sizing was the exact hand. But I gave him the credit that I can't put him on one hand because if someone's good at poker, they should never just have one hand. But yeah, I was so close to raising that river. Like mentally, I really wanted to. I should really like this hand as a check raise on the flop with the battle flush. Yeah, the Jack four of diamonds is a reasonable check raise candidate. Looks like I've got a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw, so I go for a check call and I drill it, absolutely drill it. And he's got a hand that is probably just over it. And now it's four to a straight. I would lose to a jack on the river. Tricky spot. Maybe I'll just bet. Yeah, I think I could turn a seven into a bluff on this run out, and I could still have some ace highs. I probably have like one of my worst value bets. It seems fine. Seems fine. Could probably check call or check raise if he bets too small. Yeah, I just give him a walk with jack three. That seems too tight, but like, I don't have a no ante range to refer to, so I can't even check. Like point if it's worth 0.14 and the pot's only going to be like 20% smaller, I think Jaffrey is just always going to be a play. I think you're only going to shave off some of these ones that are worth like less than 0.06, like 10-2 off, 9-3 off. But if you're playing against someone good, if I perceive him to have potentially even an edge against me, um, folding off fringe hands where they're like not worth very much, it still seems fine. Like he doesn't know I'm going to overfold yet. He doesn't know he can take advantage of it yet unless he like sees the stream later on or something. Um, A6 is probably going to raise sometimes versus a limp. Check sometimes. He goes for stab. Ace high is always going to call. What a beautiful turn. At this point, he's watching the football game, so we're like speaking about that at the same time. Weird run out for my hand. Uh, what's he got? Is he playing the board? Hmm. I think I was trying to say like maybe I've got a jack or king high with the small bet, thinking he might turn his hand into a bluff sometimes if he has like a random air hand. And if I check, it's hard for him to bluff the river. I think he might just be like, I play the board, whatever. So I think I was trying to induce something here, like rep a jack or king high. But he actually called me playing the board, which I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that because I called the flop. It's really hard for me to not have anything here. Sure, I can have like 10-8, but he has a 10. I can have 10-7, maybe 7-8, maybe a pocket pair that got counterfeited. But yeah, I think that's clutching. But if he doesn't believe me, he should raise, which is a shame because then that would have worked out exactly how I wanted it to. But glad to get the value from playing the board. 69, mandatory raise. Ace Jack, he's probably going to mix between, yeah, jam and free bet, not all in. Uh, Mostly boring hand there. I think I went for a river check raise and he just checked back with ace high. Oh, this hand was so frustrating. I limp pre with queen nine, he checks. I flop top pair on a mono board. I bet the flop with my top pair, and then I bet the turn for value because I thought he has a one pair so often, and also if he has like jack nine or jack eight or king nine, any of these like gut shot type hands where he doesn't have a diamond, he's got a flush draw for half the pot. So he's got nine outs for half the pot if he goes check check if he doesn't have a diamond. So I want to deny equity from those hands. Given that I've got a nine, probably not the best idea. Maybe I should start with like a better queen if I'm going to value bet the turn, and maybe I just shouldn't ever bet when I don't have a flush or a set or two pair, something a bit stronger. But I also thought it's so hard to check raise as a bluff in this spot. I'm just going to bet one big blind, put him in the bin if he has like a 10 or a worse queen or a straight draw, and maybe he calls, maybe he's not sure what to do. But then this guy, man, he must have just known what I had because he bluff raised the turn with a two. So he's absolutely owned me here in my opinion. So what I tried to do got, the opposite. The opposite happened. I was like, I don't want to lose this hand, so I'm just going to bet small to then, I'm not saying I couldn't have a flush there too, but yeah, he just got it. I'm gonna check raise this one. So yeah, I've got two overs. I've got free to straight, free to a flush. So I've got a hand that's kind of tricky. He's bet half pot. My hand feels close to indifferent. I could probably fold. I decided to go for a raise. And I think he clicked it back or did something. Did not let me realize my equity. Yeah, he free bet the flop, which is pretty reasonable with his hand. Yeah, it's sick check raise with the king too, right? Like that's what I mean. Like I think like yeah, I've got the better of him in some hands, but he got the better of me in a lot of hands. Like I wouldn't. I mean, I always bet on myself. Like I like to be confident when I'm playing, but he's not the guy I wanted to play heads up. He's he's aggressive and he makes good decisions. I like it for the challenge as opposed to the financial side. I can tell you for sure I would bet on myself to win, but I would bet on myself to win against Adrian Mateos, and for sure Adrian Mateos is a better player than me. Like it's just I've got enough delusion in me that I always would, but objectively, like I'm sure he's a better heads up player. Yeah, that's the beauty of the game. Doesn't matter who's better. Sometimes you get the spots where I know better. Sometimes the opposite. Sometimes you're much better than someone, but you run into every spot where they get the better of you or they cooler you. It's there's so many ways the game plays out. I missed that last hand. I think it was he just bluffed the turn and made me fold queen high. I open king six. He peels with 8-7. Flop checks. He turns a pair. Jacks. I think I'm going to value bet the river. I think he makes a good fold actually. I go for the half pot bet. Yeah. So I could take this line with like complete air. You know, like a 3-4 of not 3-4 of spades maybe. I mean I could, but like 6-7 of clubs. Like I'm basically saying I've got air or at least a king to bet the river. He made a good fold. Uh, he bluffs with the 9-7. I have to call my king jack. I could potentially check raise, but I think it's too good. Don't want to waste my hand. Turn a king, which is dreamy. And I honestly, I was annoyed with this hand because I think he has such a good turn to barrel. It's a like a never start a spade flush draw. He's got a heart to interact with some of my check raises and continues. I don't have many king X. Some of my king X would be like king nine of hearts, uh, which you know is a hand that he blocks. I have ace highs. I have 8x. I have 2x. I have like random hands like jack nine, which are now in a tough spot on the turn. I think he has a really good hand to barrel the turn, and I have a hand that's just going to be like, yeah, please barrel, but he checks. So he could have like potted the turn here, and if he did pot the turn, he would have bluffed the river, and I would have called because I have a king with a heart. So I think he could have gone bet bet jam, and I would have won the tournament here, but he found the bloody turn check somehow. And now I guess I value bet the river. Because he didn't barrel, I'm thinking he has a hand like a queen or an eight or like a medium strength hand, and I can represent a lot of bluffs, and I have like a pretty clean value bet. And that he could potentially like bluff raise the river, but he didn't. I don't see how I fold with the king of hearts, but the king of hearts blocker is not as relevant when that's he's going to barrel the time with king x of hearts so often. Limp with the ace four, he checks. Yeah, I think this is a weird hand from him. I don't know why, like, because I've limped the flop, limp pre, sorry, I think he doesn't think I have that many ace X, so he's like, I've got a really good 10x, so I just have a really strong hand, he check raises for value, um, which puts my hand in an awkward spot where now I'm like, man, like, to me, is he already representing like two pair or something? And then the flush gets there, which is some of his main bluffs, so I'm really not feeling so confident about my hand now. I was thinking about blocking the turn, but to me, he raised the flop, which is usually going to be either an ace or a flush draw, or a draw, which is like, you know, 4-5 or like a gut shot or something, maybe a free sometimes. Uh, so, and my kicker doesn't play. I'm playing, yeah, my four doesn't play, so I lose to like ace 7 here. And now he bets the river, small. I think I just have a side snap call. I don't see any value in raising. Like he could just have a better ace. He could just have like ace 7. He could have a trap like an induce from a king flush. He could have like a boat, which might be like trying to balance an induce. I don't really put him on a 10 because he raised the flop. I don't think he bets a free on the river. So yeah, I think it's in fact it's really hard to put him on that many hands. Like I am yeah, cycle in here, even though he's bet so small on the river, and it made me feel more confident. But it's so hard to put him on a bluff or a worse value bet. Did not expect the 10 to play like that. He limps. I just put him in with the a6 for how many bigs was that? I was less than 20 bigs, standard. Raise jack free suited. He calls. He flops a bloody flush. Yeah, so I checked twice with my top pair here, which is pretty lucky looking at the hand. Like if I because I was really thinking like he check raises so much, and my hand is in such a tough spot if he check raises. And even though the king's a bad river, like I'm kind of repping a king in some ways. Somehow I have a jack, so it's kind of a mergy bet on the river from me. His range looks really weak, and then obviously he's going to check raise. But yeah, it's so hard to put him on anything with the line he's taken. Um, Robbie Ball, welcome to the chat. See you tomorrow at the airport. uh, but yeah, how weird of a line is this? Like I've kind of underrepped my hand, and then fair enough, like he went for the triple check raise because I know he's capable of check raising as a bluff. So now I'm like, man, what on earth do I do here? I've ended up with a bluff catcher when he's either massively over bluffing or he's not. I had no idea what to do here. And I remember saying to him, like, I wish I had a club because I want to call you. Like, I really want to call, but I know if I call with this hand, I'm calling every king and I'm calling every jack. Like I can't just call every time I'm value betting the river. And he's raised absolutely enormously. He's been super greedy in polar, like he's representing the hand he's got. But obviously it's just so hard to have a flush and check 3 times. Um, but I'm glad I made the fold there. But I was super suspicious, thinking he's probably just bluffed me again. But what can I do? I think I would have called if I had like Jack nine with a club, but I think I mainly bet hands like that sooner. So maybe I'm massively overfolding to the line, and he should have raised smaller, given that I didn't, show any interest in the hand yet. I mainly have just one pair without a club, and I would have pure folded those. Ah, this is spoiler alert. This is the last hand. Let's get to a normal pacing. So yeah, we start this hand with 21 big blinds effective. He goes for the limp, does he? Yep. This is really normal speed. It looks like I'm watching slow motion because I've been watching it at 4 times speed for so long. Everyone looks like they've been slowed down. Man, this is real pace of life. So yeah, I'm gonna check. I don't have many ace X because he limps off 21 bigs. I'm just gonna send it with like ace two to ace seven offsuit and like some suited aces, and I'm gonna always raise with my big aces. So I'm really stuck for ace X here. So I'm not gonna raise the flop. I'm just playing super passive, like protecting my range. Um, Obviously a seven's a great card, but I still have 6-5 of diamonds, 8-9 of diamonds, Jack 10 with one club, like loads of other hands which aren't a boat. I don't have many ace X. Again, I'm very much team. I just need to protect my range here. He's got reason to be overly aggressive because he's got way more ace X than me, even though yeah, he might have open pre or open jam with some of them, but I'm really stuck for ace X. So my whole aim for this hand is I need to induce bluffs and we'll figure it out as we go. Um, yeah, I think anytime there's a big asymmetry in the nuts, that's generally my protocol. So yeah, if I'm not thinking to check raise if I've somehow got my ace two suited here. I'm just like let's let him bluff, and all my other hands kind of fill into that. And then how wide I call if he does bet all the streets is just determined by how my range is there and how many hands I think he bluffs with. Yeah, obviously he could check, but the whole way that this hand is playing out is he's got more ace X and I don't, so he's just got license to bet more. And it's hard for him to have a hand with no showdown and equity, which is what he's got. It's just his low diamonds and low clubs. Yeah, imagine like against my core range here, like I either have an ace, not very often, or I have a seven, quite often I would say, or I have a club flush draw which has him crushed, or I have a diamond flush draw which has him mostly crushed as well. And then when the river's a nine, so now if he had like 9-8 as a bluff, or like 6-9 of clubs, he doesn't bluff the river, um, and he's got pot left. So his turn size was like two-thirds. So now if he jams the river, he's just saying he's got an ace, and it's reasonable for him to want to play an ace this way. Um, And obviously, if it's pretty obvious, right? If he ever wants to jam an ace for value, I have to call with worse. So I have to call at least sometimes when I have a seven, or he can't play an ace this way. So on the face of it, is this too greedy for an ace? Maybe. Maybe he shouldn't be trying to play for all the stacks, and maybe it is more likely that when he tries to play for the whole stack, he's actually trying to leverage the fact it looks like he can have an ace and I can't. So straight away, as soon as he did this all in, my brain went, "You have to call with this hand," and then I gave myself the 30 seconds to think about it because it sucks knowing that if I call and I'm wrong here, he's now chip leader and I've got half his stack and the momentum changes. Um, and I tried to get a live read, I didn't. Um, I'm just more going off his tendencies. I know he's capable of bluffing. He's limp pre, so I think that reduces ace X a little bit. Um, and yeah, he's being potentially greedy for what an ace might do. I could be wrong there. He might play an ace like this every time. I don't know. But then what hands do I get to the river with? Well, I've got like every king X of clubs, every queen X of clubs, every jack X of clubs, and then hands like 8-9 of clubs. So like I river the nine with my club draw sometimes. I've got like king high diamonds, queen high diamonds, jack high diamonds. I river the nine with diamonds. So straight away I'm gonna fold when I've got clubs or diamonds because if I've got like king five of clubs, I block 5 for of clubs. Like I think his first bluffs are gonna come from two cards between a two and an eight with clubs or diamonds because what else can he bluff from? He might be supposed to bluff with complete air, a hand like 6-5, like maybe a hand that blocks more on my 7x, like 6-5 with no club and no diamond. Maybe that's the sort of hand he's supposed to bluff. He might be absolutely running it with any two cards which are worse than Queen High because he's just like you don't have an ace very often. Um, so yeah, I know I have a seven here a lot, but I pretty much was just like I don't think I can fold many 7x. My five of diamonds might block bluffs, it might not. It might be that if he's over bluffing so much, I just always call with every seven. It might be I'm supposed to have a smart way of calling some seven sometimes. Um, Given he has 5-3 of clubs, maybe he could have 5-3 of diamonds, and maybe he doesn't bluff with 5-3 of spades, whatever the other suits are. Honestly, I don't know. It was all I can say is my gut said this is a spot he gets licensed to overbluff, so I can't fold a seven. And it might be that I'm calling too much with that logic. I don't know what I would have done if I had a nine. I think I would have pure folded king high and worse. So all my club draws and all my diamond draws. I have an ace once in a blue moon, but to be honest, not very often. It would have to be exactly like ace six suited, or like an ace where it's got some playability and doesn't want to raise for value and doesn't want to jam pre. So it literally some ace six suited, some um, ace nine suited. I'd just always raise, I think. So some ace six suited and then some ace, even like ace two to ace five suited. I might jam. It literally might only be ace six suited and the occasional off like ace. I mean, ace seven off is the one I was going to say, and that's blocked by the board. So um, ace eight, I think I would just jam pre-flop. Maybe pocket aces, but I think I'll just always raise like pocket sevens. I'm always raising. Yeah, it's literally like I have to call here with a seven a lot of the time, and subject to how much he bluffs. Like if he over bluffs, it might be I call every seven, and maybe I even call some 9x. Um, Obviously, the reason a nine is good is because if he was bluffing to the river, if he had nine two of clubs, nine two of diamonds, if he hits the nine on the river, he's not going to bluff. So therefore, me having a nine is always a good thing because it never blocks any of his bluffs. Um, it's possible that calling with a hand like nine, like king nine, if I have king nine of clubs, that might be a better call on the river because he might never bluff with a king or nine of clubs, but he might bluff with, I've got 7-5. He might bluff with a five of diamonds, and the only reason that might not be true is he might jam a seven here as like a merge. Like he might jam a seven thinking sometimes I call with king nine, sometimes I fold a seven. And that might be like a weird equilibrium that plays out. I don't know if that's true. But I do know if he has a seven here, how does he not feel like he's got the nuts when I literally never have an ace? So when you do chop with value in terms of like their worst value threshold and you block value, like pocket sevens or his 7x, then it's very rare that you'll fold, and heads up, the ranges are so wide, he's capable of bluffing. I just felt like very quickly it ticked all the boxes. I can never fold this hand. And there's a chance I would have called with a nine. I don't know. There's a chance I would have called with, just my like 10-9, queen nine, king nine with diamonds and clubs. There's a chance that I would have called with king high. Probably not, to be honest. Like, because I wasn't happy calling with this. I was just like, I think I have to call with this rather than this is a great situation. Yeah, like I had all the adrenaline straight away because I was like, man, this could be it. I really hope he's bluffing because I'm not folding. This is the tournament. But I always like I've got 30 seconds. Of course, take the 30 seconds if I don't if it's not a snap and it's not. And then like, please be bluffing, please be bluffing, please, please. Yeah, and the no snap show. That's what you dream of. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and obviously the heads up went my way, which is always. I mean, not for all of it. He did like get to even stacks at one point. Um, but yeah, obviously I'm favorite with the stacks the way it went in, and it worked out for me this time. Put your stomach away, Brandon. Stop stretching when your clothes are too small. Um, but yeah, that was that. That was all the final table at least for the GKBT main. There's definitely some spots I've even spotted now. I think just based on studying since I would have played better. Obviously, I'm glad I played it the way I played it. Um, Appreciate the comments. Appreciate people that follow along live. This will just stay on YouTube, so you can always go back as well. It's James Walker from BRS. Ah, long time no see. Hope you're well, James. Um, but yeah, that was that. It's bloody hot, so I'm gonna get away from my computer now. But thanks to everyone that watched along. Nice to feel like I've improved at least since this already. This was in January, and I have played a decent amount since. So every day is a school day with poker. It's always nice to think like in game I felt like I played really well, but even looking at it now, I know, you know, I didn't. I probably didn't play as well as I felt like because the plots just go your way, and the bluff works, the whatever works. Like it always feels better in game. Um, but yeah, I went with my gut a lot, and it served me well in this tournament. obviously won my fair share of all-ins, as you have to. So yeah, that was that. That's how you win a blue GKPT. I think I had the stat for the most GKPT caches without a final table before that because I'd cached something like 24 of them before I made a final table, and then one final table, one win. So variance is a joke. It's just hard to understand these things, like these random stats. If you look into them, it is just ridiculous. This game, man. Uh, but yeah. Anyway, going to Vegas tomorrow, so I'm gonna get away from poker for at least the next 24 hours. And yeah, again, thanks for watching. If you want to comment, like, share, all the good stuff, that's always good. And I'm gonna try and make some more content this Vegas trip, make some shorts, do some more maybe quick hand analysis. Not as in depth as this, obviously, because it takes forever. But hopefully there's some more live streams to go over later as well, and any content that you want me to make, let me know, and I'll try bear it in mind. Stuff that's good for shorts, good for like ease of watching. The vlogs take a long time, so I'm probably going to do more quick stuff, short form stuff. Um, yeah, thanks for the good luck, and it looks like my camera's froze now as well. So I guess I'll call it there. But thanks again.